Chapter 881. Chapter 881. Recovery. Yishiwen made up his mind to end the battle quickly. He did not hold it any longer. The fiery saber aura in his hand grew many folds in an instant. In this environment, the wood-burning saber technique was super effective. Boom! 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 Yishiwen delivered slashes one after another. Each devastating blow was as fast as lightning. The burning corpse retreated many steps by the bombardment. Soon, it went frenzy. But it did not change the situation in any slight. The burning corpse could only watch itself suppressed with no way to retaliate. Yishiwen was indeed seriously injured, but the burning corpse was in the same situation. The upper left part of the corpse was mutilated. Its figure seemed a little bit crooked. Otherwise, it would have been slashed to death long ago already. Its injury was not only severe, it could even be more serious than Yishiwen. The corpse was trembling in the face of Yishiwen, a freak who overpowered opponent with sheer strength. Even after becoming a burning corpse, it did not have much intelligence. It kept roaring savagely. Bang! Yishiwen once again parried the approaching iron sword, revealing an opening to tackle the burning corpse. It's now! Yishiwen's eyes were cold. After many battles, his battle intuition had reached a terrifying level. Boom! Countless chi power and spiritual energy condensed crazily in Yishiwen's hand. They gathered at a terrifying speed. Under the special resonance, a chi bomb was formed. Yishiwen could sense that 1/10 of his chi was drawn in an instant, giving an abnormal feeling of emptiness. This demon chi bomb grew bigger and bigger. It had the size of a cannonball in his hand. Hula! The spirit bomb streaked across the sky, drawing a huge trace in the sky, and slammed on the burning corpse. Boom! The entire palace was under a crazy earthquake. A small mushroom cloud slowly rose up. Under the shock wave coming from the terrible explosion, the burning corpse, which had sustained fatal damage, immediately disintegrated on the spot. Huff! 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 Yishiwen was breathing heavily. The demon chi bomb just now consumed 1/10 of his Buddhist chi. It exhausted him quite a bit. At the same time, it had great destructive power. This was the first time Yishiwen used it after learning the technique. This technique was his trump card. If the situation did not develop into this stage, he would not use it. After all, it would no longer be a secret once it was used. Since no one else was around, he felt comfortable with exposing it. This technique was robust, but it consumed a lot too. When there was a need for this technique, it was already the do-or-die moment. The winner of the battle would be decided. This burning corpse was crushed to pieces by his demon chi bomb, utterly eradicated with nothing remaining. Yishiwen took a short break. He immediately spread out his demon wings, flew out and rushed into the palace. After entering the palace, Yishiwen discovered this place was clustered with palaces. Only one of the palaces could be seen outside, but the remaining palaces were either deep in the mountain range or extended towards the underground in one particular direction. Yishiwen spread out his spiritual senses, covering every inch of the palaces. There were burning corpses wandering everywhere. They seemed to be alerted due to Crown Prince Crocodile, an unparalleled sword breaking in. Yishiwen could only keep avoiding these burning corpses' scope of activities. With the help of convergence martial art, his presence was fully masked. As a matter of fact, these zombies were sensitive to the living human's aura. If they smelled the aura of ordinary humans, they would rush over frenziedly. Yishiwen cussed Crown Prince Crocodile, an unparalleled sword secretly in his heart. Both of them were fine, but they alerted the burning corpses all over the palace. Yishiwen could only suffer the bitter end. Inside a remote palace. Boom! Fiery long saber split a roaring burning corpse in half. Yishiwen kept panting heavily. After all the battles, it took a heavy toll on his body. His injuries were only temporarily stabilized. These burning corpses were difficult to deal with. There were zombies' corpse poison and flames' fire poison. Once any of it was stained on the cloth, it would be troublesome. It was the last moving corpse in the side palace. It was moderate in strength, reaching the transcendent realm level. Looking at the layout, it should be an alchemy side hall. Unfortunately, the floor was filled with dumped pill furnaces and pellet bottles. This place seemed to be raided a long time ago. But Yi Shiwen didn't care. At this time, he just wanted to have a quiet place where he could recover his injuries. After making sure there were no more inactive corpses, Yi Shiwen directly released the Tianyuan mirror and shrouded the entire side hall to prevent the auras from leaking. Similarly, it served to prevent the wandering burning corpses from entering abruptly. Yi Shiwen sat cross-legged in a lotus position. He started to recover his injuries. Even with Phoenix regeneration technique, he struggled to do so. He could only suppress his injury once again. Yi Shiwen did not know the flame's origin. It seeped itself so deep like a maggot, which kept burning from within. The strangest thing was that even the qis were burnt. The abundance of qi in Yi Zaiwen's body had become the fuel of the burning. Bai! It was a faint chirp of a phoenix coming from Yi Zaiwen's body. Behind him, the phantom of a phoenix appeared, flapping its wings continuously, as if to break the shackles and head straight for the sky. The phoenix regeneration technique continuously suppressed the flame within Yi Zaiwen's body. At the same time, tyrant body scripture and observing person scripture were activated, expelling this flame. However, his efforts in expelling the flame was futile. Yi Shiwen became anxious. He could only form a stalemate with this flame at best. It was almost impossible to completely suppress it. Yi Shiwen, swallow the Phoenix's flame fruit. Phoenix's flame fruit can strengthen your physique and bring your resilience to a higher level. If you swallow Phoenix's flame fruit, you can definitely overwhelm this fire in one fell swoop. Yemo advised quickly. Yi Shiwen thought it through. Indeed, Phoenix's flame fruit itself could improve the user's physique, allowing him to have a physique like a phoenix. It would complement the Phoenix regeneration technique. After all, it also provided the ability to recover like a phoenix. It was just that one was a technique while the other improved the physique directly. Thinking of this, Yi Shiwen quickly took out the Phoenix's flame fruit and swallowed it. Scarlet's Phoenix's flame fruit melted in the mouth immediately. Within his body it turned into a small phoenix. This phoenix seemed to have intelligence. It immediately began to move in his body. The injuries on Yi Zaiwen's body, where the phoenix passed by, were healed immediately. As the little phoenix circulated around his body, his injury was getting better. Yi Shiwen was overjoyed at once. However, he soon discovered that with the addition of this little phoenix, the Phoenix regeneration technique in Yi Zaiwen's body suddenly became excited. The Phoenix regeneration technique absorbed most of the energy in this little phoenix, rendering nothing left for his body. Yi Shiwen could sense that the Phoenix regeneration technique, which was stagnant for a long time, had started to advance bit by bit. Although the extent to it was not big, Yi Shiwen could feel it vividly. He was overjoyed and didn't stop the process. If he wanted to suppress this fire, he had to rely on the Phoenix regeneration technique. The stronger the Phoenix regeneration technique, the faster he would recover. Naturally, he wanted that to continue. As the little phoenix circulated Yi Zaiwen's body, the little phoenix shrunk little by little. The phoenix's flame fruit's essence was gradually absorbed. Seeing that this phoenix's flame fruit was able to improve the Phoenix regeneration technique, Yi Shiwen did not hesitate any further. He simply took out the remaining 3 phoenix's flame fruits and swallowed them. In the eyes of outsiders, this was simply a waste because Phoenix's flame fruit had the best effect at the first consumption. The remainder had limited effect. At this time, it would be better to sell the remaining Phoenix's flame fruits, but Yi Shiwen thought otherwise. The Phoenix regeneration technique was his foundation. He cheated death many times by relying on the Phoenix regeneration technique. Without this Phoenix regeneration technique, his adventure would be already over. As long as the Phoenix regeneration technique could be advanced, he could bear consuming the rare Phoenix's flame fruits. Sure enough, right after Yi Shiwen swallowed all the 4 Phoenix's flame fruits, the Phoenix regeneration technique in Yi Zaiwen's body began to improve little by little, advancing in an unfathomable level. Yi Zaiwen's body went through a gradual transformation. The tyrant body had now begun to advance in another direction, which was completely different from tyrant body. Yishuan could also feel that as the energy of Phoenix's flame fruit was continuously absorbed, the fire in his body was suppressed little by little. Eventually, the fire did not constitute a threat. His Phoenix regeneration technique also regained the upper hand. Chapter 882. Chapter 882. Conquer the mutated flame. Most importantly, Yishuan discovered that his physique was also advancing into a more vigorous physique, which surprised him. In fact, since entering Sage Realm, Yi Zaiwen's physical transformation had not stopped. During Sage Realm, it had transformed to the most perfect state. It could only be strengthened in the future, but no more transformation would take place. This was the law of nature. It happened to every other race and clan. After Sage Realm, the physical body was already perfected. It was bound by nature. In Sage Realm, every level signified the process of perfecting the physical body. No one had a way to perfect the physical body any further, after Sage Realm. Although their physical body was already perfected, there were still differences. For example, even if human races ascended to physical body perfection, it was difficult to contend with the imperfect dragon race. This was an inborn disadvantage that efforts could hardly make up of. Tyrant body scripture was an outlier. It was a powerful martial technique that could alter the inborn limitations. Yishuan discovered that his body steered away from humankind gradually. The integration of the Star Beast bloodline in Tyrant body made him stronger in the physique aspect. Compared to the Tyrant Boda's physical strengthening, the Star Beast bloodline was more comprehensive. It even reached the spirit level. Some characteristics of Star Beast manifested too. In comparison with the Earth in the previous life, it was like imparting animal genes into the human body, thus possessing the abilities of those animals. Meanwhile, the change this time was unlike the sheer strength of Tyrant body, but more of a supplementary effect. Yishuan could sense his physique approaching that of a phoenix. This physique raised Yishuan in the aspect of recovery and physical resistance. In other words, the injury that would take a month for Yishuan to recover would only take half a month now. Phoenix regeneration technique brought about this unprecedented change. A sage technique that was merely meant for recovery seemed to experience mutations under the Phoenix's flame fruit's stimulation. It broke the shackles of being a recovery technique to something else that altered the physical body. Is this possibly a more advanced form of the Phoenix regeneration technique? Yishuan didn't know either. Previously, he felt that the Phoenix regeneration technique seemed to have reached its extreme, a bottleneck. There would be no way to improve it, so Yishuan didn't pay much attention to it either. It formed an impression that it was a sage recovery technique. But now it turned out that the situation was completely different. The Phoenix regeneration technique seemed to have entered a whole new level under the effect of Phoenix's flame fruit. It could even transform Yi Zaiwen's body. Could Yishuan possess the same body like a phoenix, having the physique capable of being reincarnated from death? This was the first term that Yishuan thought of. For Phoenix, Yi Zaiwen's perception was the same as everyone else. It had the ability to be reborn after death. Not only could the Phoenix be reborn from death, but ascension took place every time it was reborn. This was what moved Yishuan the most. Even though the possibility was slim, Yishuan enjoyed the current benefits already. As Yi Zaiwen's physique changed little by little, he found that the flames within his body could not hurt him any further. Rather, he felt a sense of intimacy towards the flame. It was as if Yishuan could mobilize these flames. Did I acquire fire resistance? It rang like a bell in Yi Zaiwen's mind. According to the legend, the phoenix was the origin of fire. It was possible that since his physique had become similar to a phoenix, he had control over fire. Thinking of this, Yishuan couldn't help but get a little excited. Those races became elite due to their inborn talents which humankind's could not match up to. They were the favored son of heaven, according to the folks. In comparison to these elites, humankind's only had a number advantage but nothing else. Especially to those with a unique physique. Many of them had ancient bloodlines, though there weren't anything special to those authentics one. For example, Titan body bloodline was merely a denomination and something inferior to the actual Titan. In this respect, human beings did not have any advantage, but there were things where human beings could leverage on. The ability to grasp new knowledge rapidly. With that, humans only needed 100 years of cultivation to reach the same level which required other races' cultivation up to 1,000 years. Though, the other races typically had longevity up to 10,000 years. God seemed to be fair in this case. But there was no doubt that if he awakened some of Phoenix's inborn talents in addition to the existing Star Beast's bloodline power, then his strength would exceed far beyond the natural law. The ultimate goal of his tyrant body training was to reach divinehood, being able to contend with other blessed races. Once Yishuwen became one of the blessed races, he would be at a different caliber. Those who dissed on inborn talents were usually people who were jealous. Everyone wished their inborn talent to be superior than the others, so they wouldn't need to struggle so much. Some people thought the lack of experience would make one fall short. There was even a saying that beings with blessed talents would be incomparable to those who struggled. They would not be able to achieve great accomplishments. In reality, only one among 10,000s of ordinary people could achieve something. In comparison, it would only take probably 1 out of 100 outstanding talents to achieve great feats. Thus, Tyrant Body Scripture was created to match up to those with superior talents. The existing inborn gaps should be acknowledged. There were those talents willing to gain experience too. Yishuwen, if you really can acquire the physique of a phoenix, then you've hit a jackpot. Yimo's voice also began to tremble. You know, among the top clans in numerous worlds and realms, little clans could stand shoulder to shoulder with Phoenix. Your future's path will be much smoother. It's a blessing in disguise. This Phoenix's flame fruit may evolve your Phoenix regeneration technique, making your physique gradually closer to that of a Phoenix. Yimo knew Phoenix's flame fruit was not the sole credit. Phoenix's flame fruit just offered some characteristics of Phoenix physique, making their regeneration stronger than ordinary people. But Yishuwen underwent a thorough physical body transformation. This body had not experienced much change after Sage Realm. It was unlike forcefully integrating Star Beast's bloodline power. The transformation this time relied on the improvement of the Phoenix regeneration technique. Hence, time and patience was needed throughout the whole process. The changes would take place bit by bit rather than a momentary explosive growth, just like Tyrant Body Scripture. But even so, Yishuwen was elated. Not only would his physique change in a better direction, but his Phoenix regeneration technique had also ascended again. His first impression of Phoenix regeneration technique was that it was too simple. He had no one taught him to. Most importantly, there was no record of the various changes of the Phoenix regeneration technique on that page of ancient scripture. It was merely a simple method of cultivation. As for the other pages of the ancient scriptures, they fell into the hands of other people. Among them, Emperor Chen died in his hands. Hence, he also lost traces of it. In the other pages of ancient scriptures, Yishuwen didn't know what exactly was recorded. It could be a new martial art, or it might be other details of the Phoenix regeneration technique. But anyway, he learned that the Phoenix regeneration technique was far more complex than he anticipated. There was still a lot of room for improvement. Originally, he was a little baffled. Phoenix regeneration technique was only a martial technique for recovery. To what extent that the technique was graded as deity level. Although he had several deity level martial techniques with him, he knew how precious these deity level martial techniques were. Even for unparalleled sword and crown prince crocodile, they at most possessed the earth level martial technique. This was also the biggest reason Yishuwen could challenge someone beyond his power realm. Otherwise, there were so many geniuses in the world, how could Yishuwen fight someone beyond his power realm easily? As Yizaiwen's physique continued to change, Yishuwen found that those fires did not become a hindrance, but something intimate. Yishuwen suddenly had an idea to subdue these flames and put them for his own use. These flames were terrifying. He would suffer severe damage once he got into contact. For anyone else, they would burn to death. If these mutated flames could be subdued, it would undoubtedly become Yi Zaiwen's trump card. Moreover, the phoenix itself grew in flames and rebirthed in flames. These mutated flames would become his best tonic. Similarly, the phoenix's physique would nurture these flames too, making these flames stronger. After communicating with Yemo about it, this idea got Yemo's approval. Good idea. If you can do it, it should have a complementary effect in the end. Yemo nodded and said. It might be a risky action for others. Doing this was similar to planting a bomb that could erupt at any time. But for Yi Shiwen, it was nothing big. Anyway, there were many weird things in his body. Having one more made no difference. It's just a mutated flame. No big deal. After making up his mind, Yi Shiwen immediately sat up and mobilized the Phoenix regeneration technique, absorbing the energy of Phoenix's flame fruit, while conquering the flames. Chapter 883. Chapter 883, Transcendent Realms Second Level. With the Phoenix regeneration technique body and Phoenix's flame fruit continuously improving Yi Zaiwen's physique, Yi Shiwen absorbs this mutated flame faster and faster. When Yi Shiwen absorbed all these flames, a long while had passed. Without the interference of these mutated flames, Yi Zaiwen's body quickly recovered to the peak. The Phoenix regeneration technique once again demonstrated its incredible property. This degree of injury was not a big deal to Yi Shiwen as long as the mutated flame was gone. Yi Zaiwen's palm spread it out, flames were burning on it. It constantly changed, following Yi Zaiwen's thoughts. It finally became a little phoenix, but the image was still quite vague. It would become better with Yi Zaiwen's improvement in his control towards the mutated flame. As Yi Shiwen continued to absorb the phoenix's flame fruit's energy, Yi Shiwen discovered that other than the Phoenix regeneration technique that had improved, his cultivation had also been greatly improved in the process. After each breakthrough, there was the accumulation phase. This was a cyclic process. Every breakthrough lied in the foundation and adequate accumulation. That was why the disciples of the big forces were able to ascend rapidly. Those disciples, being a genius, had resources invested on them which enabled them to ascend quickly. Resources were much more abundant, especially in the ancient Baron's continent. The realm barrier was less rigid too. Hence, there were so many transcendent realm experts who were over 100 years old, and even decades old. Although Yi Shiwen did not have a great force as his backer, he was not attached. As long as he obtained resources, he could use them without any scruples. This was the basis for his rapid growth. Thinking of this, Yi Shiwen was not in a hurry to go out. If he left at this time, he might face a surprise attack by the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan's experts. Right now, his only option was to escape if he were to be in an unfortunate encounter with them. This would not end well. Rather, it was better to strive for breakthroughs before considering leaving this place. The phoenix's flame fruit morphed 4 little phoenixes within Yi Zaiwen's body. They were rotating indefinitely as Yi Shiwen absorbed them gradually. His strength was also growing little by little, approaching transcendent realm first level peak patiently. Each little of improvement might not be much, but it was a steady advancement. His foundation was stronger than ever. The phoenix's flame fruit's rich energy solidified Yi Zaiwen's foundation. 3 days passed. Many people didn't even react, but time flew. During these 3 days, Yi Shiwen could only vaguely know what happened outside. He was immersed in his own cultivation. After 3 days, his cultivation finally reached the transcendent realm first level peak in one fell swoop. He felt that there was no way to progress, so he just stopped. There was only a little bit of Phoenix's flame fruit's energy left in Yi Zaiwen's body. Originally, if it were only intended to ascend into transcendent realm first level peak, Yi Shiwen might not even be able to consume all the Phoenix's flame fruit's energy. However, his body seemed to have absorbed most of the Phoenix's flame fruit's energy. The Phoenix regeneration technique had absorbed part of it to evolve too. In the end, little of the energy could be utilized to nurture his cultivation. Yi Shiwen only needed a little bit more to strive for the transcendent realm's second level. Success or failure all depended on this. Yi Shiwen took a deep breath and began to mobilize the spiritual energy, and chi in the body while at the same time mobilizing the energy of Phoenix's flame fruit. Two mighty torrents smoothly gathered together. They launched an impact towards the realm barrier into Transcendent Realm's second level. Waves after waves washed on the barrier. The breakthrough was uninterrupted. Although it seemed a bit hasty, Yishiwen was more confident with the help of Phoenix's flame fruit. Time passed by slowly under his constant challenge on the cultivation realm barrier. At the same time, on the other side of the palace clusters, many vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts were roaming one palace after another. Like everyone who came in, they faced the attack of the alarmed burning corpse. Now I don't know where the prince has gone. Otherwise I can go to meet the prince, which saves my effort. A vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert said with some dissatisfaction. Although the number of them was far more than Yishiwen, they attracted far more burning corpses than Yishiwen. Even if their strength was high, they were quite annoyed in the face of these burning corpses. But the expert did not notice Yi Ying's face suddenly became ugly when he was talking. Hints of resentment flashed in Yi Ying's eyes. In the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan, Ying was valued second only to Crown Prince Crocodile. Crown Prince Crocodile was his most direct competitor. For him, Crown Prince Crocodile was an extremely powerful opponent. With the existence of Crown Prince Crocodile, he had not been able to get the chief's support in the clan. He was always regarded as an alternative. Many people considered this ranking not bad. After all, many members of the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan did not receive such treatment at all. On the contrary, Ying didn't think so. He was not satisfied with such treatment. For him, if there was no Crown Prince Crocodile, he would undoubtedly be the first among the younger generation. Even facing Crown Prince Crocodile, he was not intimidated. He did not feel that he was worse than Crown Prince Crocodile. He only felt that he was only born a few years later than Crown Prince Crocodile. If he and Crown Prince Crocodile were at the same age, there was room for Crown Prince Crocodile to prosper. But the clan members failed to notice this. They all think that Crown Prince Crocodile was stronger, so they favor Crown Prince Crocodile. Most importantly, Crown Prince Crocodile dared to humiliate him. Crown Prince Crocodile didn't put him in the eye. Originally, the clan arranged for the two of them to work together to find out the truth of Yi Xiangshan's death. Of course, they were tasked to seize the treasure in the Holy Realm Dweller's mansion. However, Crown Prince Crocodile completely abandoned them and went to challenge Unparalleled Sword, throwing him away to lead the team. Who does he think I am? Am I his subordinate? Thinking of this, Ying was upset. He always antagonized Crown Prince Crocodile, proving that he could do much better than Crown Prince Crocodile. Unfortunately, not many people recognized him now. Once the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert said this, it was like stabbing into a hornet's nest, completely irritated Ying. He was thinking on how to punish this expert, letting the expert understand how powerful he was. Suddenly, a noise came from not far away. In a side palace, burning corpses were pursuing a group of people. They were none other than the Wang family members. It turns out to be the group of humans with that kid that day? A vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert quickly recognized the Wang family group. When they encountered Yishiwen twice, the Wang family were all present twice. However, at that time, their attention was all on Yishiwen. They had ignored this family, letting them go. The crocodile clan expert did not expect to encounter the family again at this place. Sure enough, we aren't mistaken, said Baichim coldly. It just so happens that the relationship between those people and the boys is obviously unusual. Maybe it has something to do with Yi Xiangshan's death. What a good chance for us to arrest and interrogate them, said Ian coldly. Since the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts just so happened to be in a foul mood with no place to vent, they had somehow found themselves some toy. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert, although not comparable to the attention the crown prince received in vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan, he was not an ordinary elite. He had a backer behind him. Since he was not Crown Prince Crocodile that was fully recognized by the clan as the leader, he couldn't defend everyone. He swallowed his resentment bitterly. However, the Wang family who appeared now were different. In his view, these meager humans were no big deal at all. Their death had no meaning. Since they were related to Yi Xiangshan's death, that was enough to sentence them to death. Despite there was no evidence. Would the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan's experts need evidence to do things? Exactly. With the ability Soul Search, we will know if they have anything to do with Yi Xiangtian. A Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan expert said cruelly with his face full of excitement. As to whether there would be any accidental injury, it was not in their consideration. In other words, it did not matter at all. No one would voice up even if a massacre took place. On the other side, everyone in the Wang family didn't know the approaching danger. At this time, they focused their attention on the burning corpse chasing after them. After this period of training, Wang Mengyu had greatly improved. She had now reached the Transcendent Realm's second-level peak. Her progress was not unnoticeable. Not only her, Wang Feiyun also reached the Transcendent Realm's second-level peak not long ago, following closely behind. Other Wang family experts had also improved. The worst one would be at Transcendent Realm first-level peak. Someone a little bit better would have ascended to the Transcendent Realm's second level. Their progress proved that close cultivation was not as good as personal experience. Although many dangers laid within, they had definitely gained enough benefits. For them, it was enough. Chapter 884. Chapter 884. Wang family's crisis. Even if they were to leave immediately, there would be no regrets. However, the real problem was that even so, they still seemed to be too inadequate to roam this holy realm dweller's mansion. A burning corpse was enough to rather them in a mess. The burning corpses might not be as overwhelming as they were alive. Their instincts and strong physique could easily execute the strength at least at Transcendent Realm 4th level. Some even achieved the combat power of a Transcendent Realm 6th level. They once encountered a Transcendent Realm 3rd level zombie. They could feel the terrifying aura from a distance and hurriedly took a detour, but even now the Transcendent Realm 4th level zombie was roaming around. If it were just an average Transcendent Realm 4th level expert, they would have the chance to fight. After all, they had so many people. The gap was not too wide, like the gap between half-step Transcendent Realm and Transcendent Realm. But this was not the average Transcendent Realm 4 level expert. This was a zombie that went through mutation. Not only did it have zombies' corpse poison, but also fire poison within their flames. Being tainted would give many troubles. Since it had the undying body of a zombie, the flesh was comparable to metals. It was relentless, not afraid of death. That made them a foe 10 times tougher in comparison to a typical Transcendent Realm 4th level expert. As a result, the Wang family could only choose to retreat. The only way to deal with these zombies was to completely crush them with absolute strength. Of course, this was what they were lacking, resulting in them constantly fleeing. However, Wang Mingyu and Wang Feiyun had to make a few stops, and jointly resist the burning corpse, so that everyone had more time to flee. Among the group, only these two were able to resist the burning corpse for a little while. Roar! The burning corpse noticed the Wang family were running farther and farther. It roared in frenzy, overwhelming the entire hall with its roar. For some reason, the burning corpse refused to leave their wandering palace too far. If this went on, everyone in the Wang family would be able to escape from the burning corpse. The burning corpse lunged forward all of a sudden. Its figure launched out abruptly like a cannonball. He bypassed Wang Mingyu and Wang Feiyun directly. The two of them were directly pushed away by a huge force. It brought them great surprise. Their aura barrier thickened by a few layers to stop the infection from corpse poison and fire poison. At this moment, the burning corpse rushed directly behind one of the Wang family's disciples lagging behind. The corpse stretched out its dried-out ghastly claw and made a scratch. Unexpectedly, this scratch manifested chills at the disciple's chest. A pumping heart was vividly displayed on the claw. The corpse swallowed the bloody hearty on the spot. After that, strong energy composed within the burning corpse. It made a louder roar, piercing straight to the hall's roof. The burning corpse's aura grew in intensity. It was going through ascension. Run! Wang Mingyu couldn't bother with the dead disciple. If they failed to flee, they would not have any second chances. A transcendent realm 4th level burning corpse was so terrifying already. In the face of the transcendent realm 5th level burning corpse, they simply stood no chance to survive. They would definitely be wiped out. Everyone in the Wang family was shocked, but they couldn't afford to lag behind. They ran wildly outside the hall. The figures flew out like cannonballs launched from heavy artillery. The burning corpse's terrifying roar crippling behind them. Sure enough, the burning corpse had already stepped into the transcendent realm 5th level not long after that. A level that put them in despair. After the ascension was completed, the burning corpse quickly chased out again. However, the previous time window enabled everyone in the Wang family to flee for a distance. The burning corpse failed to catch up and left. It dragged the Wang family disciple corpse and walked inside. After finally evading the chase of this burning corpse, everyone in the Wang family finally breathed a sigh of relief. The aura of the burning corpse had left their scope of detection. A disciple of the Wang family was caught alive. The corpse couldn't even be retrieved. Everyone in the Wang family was dejected. They were in a competition usually. However, the feeling of grief still emerged. Although they were prepared for the possible deaths and injuries before they came, they were still extremely uncomfortable when such casualties occurred. Let's go home. We are basically like bugs here, and get trampled to death at any time. This is not suitable for us, said a Wang family's young expert. This statement immediately resonated with the other experts of the Wang family. Although they were highly regarded in the Wang family and even South Initiate Island, they weren't ignorant to the fact that they were no different from bugs in the Holy Realm Dweller's mansion. When they were in the outside areas previously, they could still work it out despite the danger. Everything was still within the range they could handle. Once they entered the Holy Realm Dweller's mansion, they found that these burning corpses were all beyond Transcendent Realm's 4th level. None of them could handle it. In this place, they were indeed bed bugs. They might be trampled to death at any second. The feeling that their life was not in their hands brushed away their sanity. At this time, everyone had only one idea, and that was to leave quickly. However, the final call depended on Wang Mingyu and Wang Feiyun. Among the younger generation of the Wang family, they led the group. Right now, Wang Feiyun did not have the desire to compete with Wang Mingyu like his usual self. When the entire team might be eradicated at any time, it was meaningless to compete with Wang Mingyu anymore. They would lose their lives at any unexpected minute. Unbeknownst to him, he had recognized Wang Mingyu was more suitable to lead the Wang family. Wang Mingyu saw that everyone was looking at her. She spoke up. We should leave this place. We won't be able to harvest anything here. Even if we get something, the others would covet our harvest. Everyone nodded. They would either couldn't get anything, or lose everything. This perception was realistic and accurate. We shouldn't delay any further. Let's go now before any troubles come up again, added Wang Feiyun. Since decisions were made, they should no longer hesitate. Where are you going? At this moment, a slightly playful voice came from not far away. Everyone in the Wang family was shocked. When they looked around, they saw the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts flying towards them at an astonishing speed. The one taking the lead was Bai Qin. Bai Qin just narrowed its reptile's eyes and looked at everyone in the Wang family coldly, but Ying was not around. Originally, Ying planned to personally go out and kill these human beings to vent his anger. Before he left, he had gotten more important news. He hurriedly left. Bai Qin stayed to eradicate the Wang family. It should be a fairly simple matter. In his eyes, these Wang family's young experts possessed no threats at all. They were just a group of Transcendent Realm 1st level and 2nd level warriors. Yi Shiwen did surprise him, but he thought it was impossible to threaten him. Even so, such people were rare. There should be none like him among the Wang family. It's you! Everyone in the Wang family became tense immediately. They knew what their encounter meant. These vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts were malicious. Humans. You're bold. Let's talk. What is the relationship between you and that kid? Are you related to Yi Xiangshan's death? Asked Baichin coldly. He squinted his reptile eyes. Glaring killing intent was revealed in his cold eyes. We have nothing to do with that Yi Xiangshan's death. Wang Mingyu stepped forward and said. She should not admit that they had anything to do with this. Otherwise, only immediate death awaited them. Although from the current point of view, it appeared that the crocodile clan was ill-intentioned, there was still an opening to get through it. Any slight doubt from the crocodile clan would mark their death. Even if they indeed had nothing to do with this matter, it was still troublesome. You're not related? Do you think I will believe what you said? Sneered Baichin. Since you don't believe it, why do you still ask? Wang Feiyin stepped forward and said angrily. This is like playing us like monkeys. Ha! The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts laughed aloud abruptly. Unexpectedly, they figured it out. He had the confidence to challenge Wu Chihai, but not the case for these vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan transcendent realm 5th level experts. Any one of them was beyond Wang Menjia's father, Wan Yanghua. Such a lineup was enough to wipe out the Wang family several times. He couldn't just act selfishly and impose a dire situation on the Wang family. But he hated this feeling. I absolutely can't let this happen again in the future. Damn bastard. Vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan, I will surely raise your clan one day in the future. Wang Feiyun was extremely resentful. After some time, the Wang family's disciple, who was still wailing and screaming, finally stopped screaming. Cheese escaped his body. The tensions in the eyes dissipated. In the end, the vigor ran clean. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan's expert finally read all the memories, frowning, and said, This thing is strange. These petty humans have nothing to do with this matter. They don't know anything at all. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert casually threw the corpse of the Wang family's disciple aside. He was baffled. The reason why they came to trouble the Wang family was their suspicion that Wang family was related to Yi Xiangshan's death, albeit Wang family's close relation with Yi Shiwen. He did not expect to learn anything after reading through the memories. Since we have verified clearly that it has nothing to do with us, let us go. Wang Mingyu stepped forward and said. Then, she immediately led everyone from the Wang family to leave. Wait a minute. When did I say you may go? Blurted Baichin. Facing vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan, their faces stiffened immediately. They turned around with anger boiling more intensely in their hearts. Since it has nothing to do with us, why can't we leave? Said Wang Feiyin indignantly. When did I say that you can't leave when it isn't related to you all? Baichin smirked cruelly as if he witnessed some funny joke. How could you? Since it has nothing to do with us, why do you still trouble us? We don't know anything about Yi Xiangshan's death, said a Wang family young expert angrily. He finally could not bear it anymore. For them, these vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts were too overbearing. They were treated like playthings. No matter the truth, they would not be able to escape their fate. You are planning to kill all of us for no reason. So what? It's just a few humans. What reasons do we need to ask ourselves for reasons? It's ridiculous. A vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert laughed. It's just your wishful thinking. Do you think you can leave just because it has nothing to do with you? You're related to the kid. That's your unforgivable death sentence. Do you think that there are no experts among us humans? Sooner or later, you will arouse public outrage. His attack had no pauses. But at this time, a shrieking sonic boom streaked across the sky. A fiery saber aura fell from the sky, cut through the vast sky, and swooshed down instantly. Puff! Before the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert managed to let out his last scream, his entire head was chopped off. Chapter 886. Chapter 886. Terrifying Yishiwen. Who? The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan reacted swiftly, almost immediately. The scene just now was too shocking for them. A clan member was beheaded without any resistance. Pa! 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 A series of footsteps came from a distance. A cyan figure appeared in front of everyone. Brother Yi! Brother Yi! When everyone in the Wang family saw this cyan figure, they immediately exclaimed. It turned out to be Yishiwen. It's you, bastard! Bai Chen narrowed his eyes in surprise. That fiery saber aura was so familiar. It turned out to be Yishiwen. More importantly, he thought that Yishiwen was already dead after rushing into the flame. When they came in, they didn't see Yi Zaiwen's body. Naturally, they just assumed he was burned to ashes. They didn't investigate further either. To their surprise, the person they long thought was dead had resurrected. You dare to kill members from the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan! A Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan expert roared. Previous Yi Xiangshan's death was just their guess, now it was blatant to the eye. Worse still, Transcendent Realm 5th level Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan's elite stood more importance than Yi Xiangtian. Yi Xiangshan's death did not matter much. In this endless sea region, the death count of warriors every day was ridiculous. It was no exception even in the case of a tyrant force, Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan. They came here primarily for the Holy Realm Dweller's mansion. Yi Xiangshan's death was secondary to them. They didn't care much at all. It was just that they didn't expect to find Yishiwen by accident. But the time had changed. Yishiwen killed the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan under their noses. This was a naked provocation. They would not let Yishiwen go no matter what now. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan were enraged. Yi Xiangshan's death? Who the hell is he? Not only him, but all of you shall also go to hell. Yishiwen squinted his eyes and said, Where's Ying? Too bad, he can't be your companion to hell. Hearing Yi Zaiwen's arrogant taunt, many Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan's experts immediately felt a sense of irritation. As the overlord of this nearby sea region, Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan had never encountered a person who belittled them like this. Eradicate us in one shot, are we tofu to you? Yi Zaiwen's contemptuous attitude intensely annoyed them. It was indifference from the heart. It made them feel uncomfortable as if they were experiencing chest distress. No one had despised the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan like this. It was a blatant slap to their faces. You're digging your grave. No one can help you all anymore. When there's a path to heaven, you're still walking into hell, said Bai Chen coldly. Help? Who do I need to help me? You should be worried about yourself. Who will be saving you all today? Yi Zaiwen's dense chi began to surge, setting off a horrific wave. His aura alone unexpectedly overwhelmed the combined aura of these Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts. It was the first display of the Transcendent Realm 2nd level's might. It offered a completely different feeling from the Transcendent Realm 1st level. At Transcendent Realm 1st level, Yishiwen was still a little restrained in front of these people. After attaining the Transcendent Realm 2nd level, his cultivation had greatly improved. Sure enough, his combat power went through earth-shaking changes as well. At this time, the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts finally began to face Yishiwen seriously. Since Yishiwen had confronted them directly, then obviously he had some preparation and some confidence. They finally realized that Yishiwen was different from the past and remembered what they had forgotten just because of anger. Yishiwen beheaded a Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan expert at Transcendent Realm 5th level in one slash. Kill him. Even if he makes progress, can he be on par with us? Said Bai Chen coldly. He didn't believe in his heart that Yishiwen could contend with so many experts by himself. With one death, there were still 8 Transcendent Realm 5th level experts. The overwhelming numbers advantage was adequate. There was nothing to fear at all. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts were shocked when they heard this. Yes, we have more numbers than the brat in front of them. Yishuan caught us off guard just now. We have nothing to fear at all. All of them lunged toward Yishuan in an instant. Every Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan expert seemed to transform into massive crocodiles, waving huge steel claws and grabbing toward their opponent. There was an instant whistling sound all around. The overpowering wind set off, fanning toward Yishuan loudly. Yishuan finally moved. The wood-burning saber technique in his hand instantly set ablaze. Since he had been transformed into a phoenix physique, albeit not perfected, it was enough to improve Yi Zaiwen's fire affinity. The incomplete wood-burning saber technique quickly reached the power of advanced human level. To accentuate it further, the surrounding environment was conducive to this technique. Wood-burning saber technique improved further into elite human level in Yi Zaiwen's hand. Horrific energies instantly swept through layers of fire waves, expanding in all directions, which immediately stunned many Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts. The martial technique at elite human level was just a luxury for them. Only Crown Prince Crocodile practiced the martial techniques at elite human level. Ying might have the opportunity to learn in the future, but they would not get their turn. Compared with the power at advanced human level only, wood-burning saber technique's power that reached elite human level had changed drastically. Coupled with Yi Zaiwen's tyrannical strength, wood-burning saber technique summoned unimaginable heat waves. How could he be so much stronger all of a sudden? The fastest Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan expert had pounced in front of Yishuan. Since he was the closest to Yishuan, he could feel the horror within Yi Zaiwen's momentum. But, at the critical moment, he could not afford to dawdle deep in his thoughts. He manifested a giant beast claw and grabbed toward Yishuan. The beast claw was seemingly tearing the sky at the moment it grabbed towards Yishuan. Clang! The fiery long saber in Yi Zaiwen's hand was drawn in an instant. A brilliant fiery saber light blinded the battlefield, clashing toward the approaching beast claw. Puff! Yi Zaiwen's fiery long saber instantly cut the entire beast claw in half. The fiery long saber's slash was advancing unabated. It directly crushed the oncoming big hand from the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan, detonating the hand into a bloody mess. Ah! The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan expert screamed agonizingly. He retreated crazily as he held his hand. The elite human level martial technique was far more potent than he had anticipated. It was a stark contrast to Yi Zaiwen's strength previously displayed. This made him suffer a horrific loss just after the match. But Yishuan didn't intend to let him go. He followed up with a mysterious pace and instantly caught up. In terms of speed, Yishuan was second to none. Puff! Yishuan raised his saber. The fiery saber aura instantly slashed into the opponent's body. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan expert was directly chopped in half. Blood splashed out with his vitality immediately cut off. His body gradually became cold, and he fell instantly from midair to the ground. All of the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan's experts finally panicked. This clash was unlike the previous one. Previously was of an ambush nature, but what had happened right now was a direct confrontation. However, the nature of it made no real difference in a life-and-death battle. These experts finally realized that the Yishuan in front of them had some great harvest, making him so terrifying. Initially, Yishuan was unmatched to an ordinary Transcendent Realm 5th level expert. But as of now, any regular Transcendent Realm 5th level expert would not be able to sustain even a single slash from him. Go! We can't retreat now. It's either his death or our death! Bai Qin yelled immediately and rushed towards Yishuan first. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts also reacted in time. They had no time to cower in fear. Otherwise, Yishuan would defeat them one by one, ending up killing all of them. After witnessing the glaring moves from Yishuan, they knew the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan's prestige was nothing to him. Yishuan was simply an outlaw. Their only way to survive was to defeat Yishuan. Bai Chen's speed was the fastest. He appeared in front of Yishiwen like a bolt of green lightning. In his palm, the saber appeared, drawing a dangerous arc in the sky and slashed directly at Yi Zaiwen's throat. Yishiwen didn't even bat an eye. He turned his hand over, launched another slash with his saber, and instantly clashed with Bai Chen's saber. Boom! Horrifying power swept out a shockwave. Bai Chen's body was directly blasted out alongside the shockwave. He could not help but puke a mouthful of blood. Chapter 887. Chapter 887. Inevitable Clash. Yishiwen, who had integrated the Star Beast's bloodline, coupled with the tyrant body, had already reached a terrifying point in sheer strength. Yishiwen had completely overwhelmed Bai Chen in speed too. The winning factor this time for Bai Chen was the ambush. However, in the face of Yi Zaiwen's speed that was much faster, the ambush was merely a joke. Yishiwen bombarded him into a distance. Shwa! Yi Zaiwen's fiery long saber slashed out 6 shadows in the sky unobstructed. These shadows slashed towards the 6 Transcendent Realm 5th level Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan experts who pounced over him. Puff! 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 Cracking sounds of saber aura invading these Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan experts' bodies echoed the battlefield. They were all beheaded in half on the spot, suffering an utter defeat under Yi Zaiwen's hands. These Transcendent Realm 5th level experts were considered elites. In the face of Yishiwen, they could not sustain a single clash. Everyone in the Wang family was stupefied at the sight. In fact, these opponents were the elite of the Transcendent Realm 5th level experts. Wan Yanhua was about this level too. At most, he was a tad bit stronger than the opponents. The Crocodile Clan's group was adequate to wipe out the entire Wang family. To the Wang family's surprise, this group could not sustain even a single blow from Yishiwen. Yishiwen is ridiculously strong. Although they knew Yishiwen was strong, what happened exceeded their expectations. Initially, Yishiwen was regarded as someone at the level capable of defeating Wu Chihai. No one knew how he ascended to this caliber in such a short period. Most importantly, Yi Zaiwen's aura seemed to be just at the Transcendent Realm 2nd level. Wang Feiyun was also at the Transcendent Realm 2nd level, while Wang Mingyu was at Transcendent Realm 2nd level peak. But none of them was comparable to Yishiwen. After recalling that Yishiwen had easily defeated Wu Chihai and others when he was in half-step Transcendent Realm before, they were no longer surprised. Although this incident gave them a great shock as they felt that Yishiwen was abnormal, it would not be more eccentric than defeating Transcendent Realm during half-step Transcendent Realm previously. He is way too strong. The opponents suffered an utter defeat with no way of retaliating. A one-sided slaughter! A Wang family's disciple said in great sentiment after having a new understanding of Yi Zaiwen's strength. Yeah, he is too strong, way over our league, said Wang Feiyun ruefully. Wang Mingyu, on the side, nodded in a daze. Yup, he is too strong. He can defeat someone at my father's caliber unbeknownst to us. Heroes are limitless. Only after life challenges could they achieve something big. She was glad that she brought back Yishiwen on a whim. Otherwise, how could the current Wang family be so prestigious? Worse still, they would not be able to get any slots to enter the spiritual volcano. Yishiwen didn't bother with what everyone in the Wang family was thinking. After killing the remaining 6 Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan members, Bai Chen, whom he had blasted out, had no intention to linger in the fight but turned around and left. He learned his lesson. He naturally realized he encountered a formidable foe. Yishiwen was so terrifying that he could kill a Transcendent Realm 5th level expert in just a second. He who was elite in the realm was easily defeated too. However, it was precisely because of this that he decided to turn around and leave immediately. Probably, Ying could beat the abnormal opponent in front of him. As for Crown Prince Crocodile, it had the image of God in his mind. Defeating Yishiwen would be a piece of cake. As for himself, he naturally knew that he was no longer the opponent of Yishiwen, who had become stronger now, so he could only rely on Ying to defeat Yishiwen. His speed was breakneck, effective for surprise attacks. Not much his opponent could do about it. Utilizing his expertise to escape, he was not slow. "Brother Yi, stop him! We can't let him escape!" Wang Mingyu hurriedly yelled. If Bai Chen escaped, their Wang family was likely to be the next target of the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan. Yi Shiwen could disregard it since his foundation was not here. Leaving the place would allow him to solve all his troubles. However, it was not the same for the Wang family. They could not disregard their home. Once Bai Chen escaped, the Wang family and even the South Initiate Island would be wiped out. The crocodile clan's vengeful attitude was evident in history, after all. Without her commenting further, Yi Shiwen had already gone into pursuit. Yi Shiwen would not let him go. Although Bai Chen's speed was daunting, Yi Shiwen was much faster, especially after activating demon wings. Yi Shiwen caught up almost instantly. Bai Chen had been paying attention to what happened behind him. However, he did not expect that Yi Shiwen would rush over at such a terrifying speed. He had always been proud of his speed, but Yi Zaiwen's speed was way more advanced than him in a considerable gap. If Bai Chen's speed was like a bolt of green lightning, then Yi Zaiwen's speed was blatant instant teleportation. Yi Shiwen arrived behind him almost instantly. "Chang!" Yi Zaiwen's fiery long saber was set ablaze. It swooshed down, streaking across the sky, and struck Bai Chen. Boom! Bai Chen suffered fatal damage. He failed to maintain his flight, directly plunged into the ground like a meteor. A crater was punched directly on the floor. The bones of his body had seemingly been crushed. He laid in the pit motionless. Yi Zaiwen's power was too great, seemingly peerless. How could Yi Shiwen let go of such an opportunity? He dived to his opponent, and slashed his fiery long saber immediately. Boom! In the crater, a small mushroom cloud rose. Bai Chen was directly beheaded on the spot. As these vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts were beheaded, everyone in the Wang family breathed a sigh of relief. If any of them were allowed to escape, it would be disastrous. They felt secure after learning that every crocodile clan member present was eliminated. After beheading Bai Chen, Yi Shiwen approached the Wang family. "Brother Yi, it is good to see that you're fine," Wang Mingyu said. "You save us once again." Wang Mingyu smiled a little bitterly. This was not the first time Yi Shiwen saved all of them. This feeling made her smile a little bitterly. "It's nothing. It's a piece of cake, but I think you'd better go back first. This place is not suitable for you," said Yi Shiwen. Everyone in the Wang family glanced at each other. Although Yi Shiwen said it implicitly, they still understood that they would be dragging Yi Shiwen down if they continued their adventure here. Their ending was only death at this place. In the face of these transcendent realm burning corpses, the Wang family's strength was too weak. They could manage to escape if it was a lone zombie. They would be long dead already if they encountered a group of them. "We have this intention too," replied Wang Mingyu. Compared to the outside world, the danger in the Holy Realm Dweller's mansion was much greater. It happened that Yi Shiwen had also proposed that. She rode along with the current and left this dangerous place. Since they wanted to go out, Yi Shiwen didn't say much. He sent them away from the Holy Realm Dweller's mansion, killing several waves of burning corpses that detected them. After sending them out of the Holy Realm Dweller's mansion, Yi Shiwen went back and entered the Holy Realm Dweller's mansion. Yi Shiwen, who returned to Holy Realm Dweller's mansion again, was not in a shackle like previously. After reaching the Transcendent Realm's second level, his combat power was undoubtedly much higher. The burning corpse, which was able to cause trouble to him previously, was unmatched to him. He soon passed through multiple palaces one after another, and came to the central area of the Holy Realm Dweller's Mansion Palace cluster. There were already many warriors gathered here. No matter which direction they came in previously, they were all here now. But above this palace, the number of burning corpses had also increased. Squads of burning corpses rushed in almost from time to time. It seemed that they were also attracted by the vital energy and blood of these warriors. For these zombies, no matter what kind of zombie, vital energy and blood were always tempting. The vital energy and blood of these warriors were thousands of times that of ordinary people. In the eyes of these burning corpses, it was the best supplement. Yi Shiwen noticed that almost all of the warriors in front of him were concentrated in front of the hall and hesitated. There was Yao Qian, Ying, the one expert he met in front of Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce, Qidong, and Scarlet Thunder Immortal, who he defeated previously. He didn't know did Scarlet Thunder Immortal gain any harvest during this period. She had stepped into the Transcendent Realm 5th level and directly became the Transcendent Realm 5th level peak. The aura was much more potent than the previous Bai Qin. Needless to say, her combat power too. These 4 people faintly led these warriors. They made frequent attempts into the hall. Chapter 888. Chapter 888. Fire Spiritual Pool. Yi Shiwen looked in the direction of the central hall again. 5 powerful burning corpses were wandering in the middle of the hall. Their glaring scarlet eyes were scary. Yi Shiwen secretly evaluated his circumstances at the bottom of his heart. Scarlet Thunder Immortal and Ying were both superior to Bai Chen's level. Although all of them were Transcendent Realm 5th level peak, there was a stark difference in strength. Like Wang Feiyun and Wang Mingyu, they were in the same realm, but their strengths were vastly different. Sure enough, Yi Shiwen had a deep grudge with Scarlet Thunder Immortal and Yi Ying. Seemingly, there would be an inevitable clash with the opponent. These people gathered here to break in the palace gates guarded by these zombies and enter the palace. Evidently, there was something in this palace that attracted the crowd. Yi Shiwen suddenly remembered a fire spiritual pool at the central palace was marked on the map. This fire spiritual pool had extraordinary abilities. Legend said that it was a pool filled with flame. Once every interval, this pool would spew out countless flames, which would subsequently condense into flame essence. Needless to say, the flame essence was a valuable treasure for those cultivating fire attribute martial techniques. If one were to swallow it, then he would have his fire affinity boosted. For them, they could ascend their cultivation realm in a short time with no ramifications. Moreover, the fire spiritual pool would spew many treasures as the Holy Realm Dwellers Mansion Palace group opened. Someone had realized that and took control of the place. Over time, that place became the foundation, and an elite sect was formed. The crowd's goal was apparent: the fire spiritual pool in the main hall. Entering it would not be an easy feat. The 5 burning corpses guarding the place were alerted. Their gazes reflected their vigilance to the surrounding warriors. If they were not confined here, Yi Shiwen assumed all of them would have rushed out. They would not be merely roaring at the palace gate. The 5 burning corpses exuded a frightening aura. The worst 2 of them had the Transcendent Realm's 6th level strength, which was higher than the warrior who came. The burning corpse, taller than the others, took the lead. The corpse leader was at Transcendent Realm 8th level. Worse still, there were 2 of the corpses at Transcendent Realm 7th level. For these warriors, it was undoubtedly a significant obstacle. Rushing into the palace would not be a simple matter. The Transcendent Realm 7th level burning corpse could slap a person into pieces. This was also the reason why those warriors hesitated, because the opposing zombies were too scary. However, as time passed, more than 200 warriors gathered at the entrance of this hall, all of whom were experts above the Transcendent Realm 3rd level. There were Transcendent Realm 5th level peak experts, including Scarlet Thunder Immortal, Qidong, Yao Qian, etc. Let's rush in. If we don't rush in, we will never have a chance again when the Holy Realm Dwellers Mansion is closed. A warrior with bloodshot eyes suggested. The fire spiritual pool was too tempting. They had turned a blind eye to the threat of the burning corpses. More than 200 experts have gathered on the scene. At this time, there was still some hope to rush in. Everyone thought they could go in by a fluke. Probably these burning corpses would be busy dealing with others, and not them. Yesterday, I saw that unparalleled sword and crown Prince Crocodile had already rushed in first with no news of them anymore. Maybe they have harvested all the benefits. If we don't rush in, then there is no chance. A warrior incited. That's right. We can't let them take away everything good. We don't have much time. If we dawdle further, we will lose this opportunity, the others echoed. These people couldn't help it anymore. Seeing that the Crown Prince Crocodile or unparalleled sword would harvest all the flame essence from the fire spiritual pool, how could they still be able to bear it? Let's rush in. We Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan will treat you kindly. Ying took the initiative. He was already unable to bear it. Crown Prince Crocodile had preempted him to enter the core palace. No more news of him since then. Certainly, Ying would not think that Crown Prince Crocodile was dead. Although he did not want to admit it, Crown Prince Crocodile was relatively fortunate. He would not die easily in this place. Since he was already a step slower, Crown Prince Crocodile would monopolize everything if he did not go in now. At that time, the gap between Crown Prince Crocodile and him would only get bigger and bigger. This was something that he absolutely could not tolerate. After all, he deemed Crown Prince Crocodile as his rival. Crown Prince Crocodile must not develop further. I can't just watch this happening idly. He had to take the lead first. He was outmatched to Crown Prince Crocodile, who was capable of rushing in directly. If he were to rush in now, those burning corpses would tear him into pieces. There would be no second chances. The other experts at his caliber were sly. No one was willing to rush in and became cannon fodder first. They did not want the others to reap benefits from their efforts. All of them were seemingly greedy for their gain. Ying could only try to trick the lone wolves. Despite them being slightly weaker, they were still experts. They must not be underestimated. "RA!" war cry came from a crowd. 200 warriors rushed out. After they rushed out, the others couldn't help it anymore and followed suit. No one wanted to be left behind. Those at the last would not acquire the flame essence from the fire spiritual pool, which was why they were here. Most importantly, the Holy Realm Dweller's mansion would not open indefinitely. It would be closed soon. They must all go out before the Holy Realm Dweller's mansion closes. Otherwise, they would be stuck here for countless years, which was intolerable to them. After someone took the lead for a while, everyone couldn't help it. The massive crowd rushed towards that hall, including those at Ying's caliber. The 200 warriors were elites in the transcendent realm. Their dashing speed spread out a hefty air current. They were like the cavalries on the battlefield, penetrating the defense line of these 5 burning corpses directly. Yi Shiwen just followed behind these people and rushed in without revealing his superior speed. At this time, everyone had only one thought. I need to rush in, and I can't slow down. Once that happens, the burning corpses will target me straight away. Yi Shiwen had just entered the palace and saw a few warriors with slower speed fallen in the burning corpses' grasp. The sharp claws proclaimed these warriors' death on the spot. Agonizing screams accompanied the burning process of their bodies into ashes. The burning corpses absorbed the deceased's blood essence. The scene was terrifying, sending chills to the witness's spine. However, their deaths also bought enough time for the other warriors ahead. This was also the goal of the warriors in the crowd. They were all hoping that the others suffered a terrible death instead of them. The humans' greed vividly manifested at this time. But at this moment, Yi Shiwen saw Ying and Yao Qian, who took the lead, almost instantly, rushing through the 5 burning corpses' defense line. Their strength was the most tyrannical among the crowd. They were abusing the individual cultivators to drag the burning corpses behind and rushed into the hall in that time window. When the burning corpses saw someone rushing over, they became frenzied. But they were still helpless to it. The other warriors were slowing the burning corpses down. If these burning corpses decided to pursue them, more people would be able to come in. Their only remaining intelligence made them furious at this time. When the burning corpses of Transcendent Realm's 6th level became frenzied, each warrior close to them was killed in one move. But even so, there were still more than a dozen people who followed Ying and rushed directly into the hall. Without exception, they were all the best among Transcendent Realm 5th level peak. Among the 200 warriors, they belonged to the top. After experiencing the initial chaos, these 5 burning corpses slowly regained their initiative. The flawed defense line soon recovered. It became more difficult for the warriors to rush in. At this time, many warriors were in despair. Under the joint defense of these burning corpses, they were helpless. They did not have the absolute strength of the Transcendent Realm 5th level peak warriors to rush in. At this time, they could only fight and retreat towards the outside of the hall. At this moment, a cyan figure rushed in at a terrifying speed, surpassing most people instantly. He ran towards a burning corpse at the Transcendent Realm's 6th level. The warriors who went in all challenged the burning corpse at Transcendent Realm's 6th level. Opponents at Transcendent Realm's 7th level and Transcendent Realm 8 Heaven were too overwhelming. They couldn't breach the defense line that way. The burning corpse went furious. It intended to slap Yishuin to death. To his surprise, the cyan figure stopped in midair, barely avoiding the approaching ghostly claw. With another leap, he penetrated the defense line directly. Chapter 889. Chapter 889. Yishuin was overwhelming. Yishuin moved extremely fast, passing through the space in an instant. Many people even thought that he teleported. Once Yishuin breached the defense line, he rushed to the center hall without stopping. Behind him, there was still the roaring of the burning corpses. Although the burning corpses kept roaring, they did not chase over. The map had indicated that these burning corpses would only guard the main hall's entrance. They would not pursue further those who rushed past them. With that, those who succeeded in breaching the burning corpses stood a chance to obtain the flame essence in the fire spiritual pool. When Yishuin arrived, there was already a battle in the center hall. In the center of the hall, there was a large fire pool about 1 kilometer long. In the center of the fire pool, countless flames were in a rampage. Red, white, and blue, various colors of flames all entangled together. Yishuin was sure that he did not go to the wrong place because of the oncoming heat waves. There was indeed the fire spiritual pool. The warriors who arrived first had already fought against one another. The superior ones were naturally Ying, Scarlet Thunder Immortal, Yao Qian, and Qidong. They were unrivaled in the group of around 20 people. According to the map, there should be a flame essence near the fire spiritual pool, but Yishuin didn't see it at first glance. It was obviously taken away by those who came first. Yishuin was still a step late. He looked around and saw that there were 2 or 3 pieces that had not been taken away, but they were still being snatched. Several people were competing for these pieces. Shoo! One of the pieces flew out of the group contesting, flying straight towards Yishuin. Yishuin was not courteous. He grabbed it directly. Although it was the flame essence, it was unexpectedly not scorching. It only felt warm, which was surprising. But there were many strange things in this world. Some flames were even at sub-zero temperatures. Immediately Yishuin met a few rather malicious gazes. A sturdy Sea Clan senior stared at Yishuin. It was the giant turtle clan. His face was quite old, appearing like a human being in his 60s or 70s. However, he was still considered a young expert among the giant turtle clan. Brat, hand over the flame essence. Otherwise, you will suffer a terrible death. The old-appearing giant turtle clan senior shouted coldly. Although he didn't know how a minute Yishuin at Transcendent Realm's 2nd level rushed in, it did not matter to him. Anyway, he did not bat an eye on Transcendent Realm's 2nd level warriors at all. Scram! Yishuin blurted. Chilly gaze flickered. Brat, I didn't want to kill you. I didn't expect you to be so arrogant. You're digging your own grave. The old-looking giant turtle clan made a move. He launched a punch at Yishuin. The giant turtle clan senior punch, weighed 10,000 tons, crushed towards Yishuin. In terms of strength, only a minority of sea clans could outperform the giant turtle clan. With great power, the giant turtle clan established themselves among the sea clans. If it were an ordinary person, he would choose to dodge it, but Yishuin did not. Boom! The 2 fists capable of smashing the stars were equally heavy. They both slammed into each other. The clash immediately set off a shockwave with a terrifying force instantly swept out. Asterisk crack. Asterisk coupled with a crisp fracture sound, a sturdy figure was launched away. It was the old-looking giant Turtle Clan Senior. His arm was mutilated under the clash. The bones at his arm were shattered in an instant. Visible blood dripped from the arm. What? The experts with coveting gaze were all stunned. They initially thought that Yishuwen would be killed on the spot. Then, it would be their opening to snatch flame essence. But what they didn't expect was that Yishuwen was so strong. They made the wrong judgment from the beginning. The kid did not rely on sheer luck to appear here. He must have his outstanding capabilities. The giant Turtle Clan Senior was in disbelief. How could he lose to a mere human brat? Worse still, in his most confident aspect, strength. Is he a beast in human skin? Except for the giant beasts in the sea, and many monsters existed since ancient times, few clans could contend with them. Is there any special bloodline in his body? Without giving him much chance to dawdle in his thoughts, Yishuwen made a follow-up to his attack, stepping on the air and kicking him directly. Boom! With a deafening noise, the giant Turtle Clan Senior was kicked directly. With a pop, he fell straight into the fire spiritual pool. After a moment of struggling and screaming, he was burnt into ash. Those who originally wanted to snatch the flame essence from Yi Zaiwen's hands hesitated. Yishuwen appeared like a war god. Yi Zaiwen's domineering performance shocked Ying and others on the battlefield. Both Yao Qian and Qi Dong were a little surprised. Isn't Yishuwen burned to death in the wall of fire? They didn't expect Yishuwen to progress so much in cultivation and survive. What's happening? In the eyes of Ying and Scarlet Thunder Immortal, blatant killing intent flashed. Especially Scarlet Thunder Immortal, her hatred and killing intent were thickly condensed horrifyingly. In the fight for Phoenix's flame fruit, she lost to Yishuwen and fled in embarrassment. Later, due to a blessing in disguise, her cultivation skyrocketed. However, she didn't have the slightest gratitude. On the contrary, she hated him and wanted to kill Yishuwen personally. Just when she was about to step forward, Ying had already taken the lead. He rushed toward Yishuwen with heavy momentum. In this scorching environment, monstrous water waves were set off. It was evident how robust Ying's cultivation was. Brat, you are still alive! Ying squinted his eyes. This was something he hadn't expected at all, and it was beyond his control. He absolutely could not tolerate it further. Yishuwen survived his pursuits, which was undoubtedly a big shame on him. Ying stepped on the water waves and approached Yishuwen. Yishuwen could feel the water vapor contained in the oncoming air. Ying's skill is definitely beyond Bai Chen. Compared with Bai Chen, he is simply at another level. Yishuwen did not feel nervous in the face of Bai Chen at all. However, he instinctively felt great danger as Ying approached. If he was given time, he might reach the level where Crown Prince Crocodile was. In an instant, a large hand imbued with water power approached. It morphed into a crocodile claw in the air. The massive hand with a heavy momentum swooshed from the top, covering the sky. The surrounding warriors all avoided it, not wanting to be affected by this attack. Some were even curious as to who Yishuwen was, pushing Ying into fury. In the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan, Ying was a genius second only to Crown Prince Crocodile. Many people even considered him not inferior to Crown Prince Crocodile if they started cultivating at the same time. As time went by slowly, the time needed for cultivation would only get longer and longer in each realm. The difference in strength caused by the age gap between him and Crown Prince Crocodile would only be diminished. In the end, Ying might even surpass Crown Prince Crocodile. Few people like this person could anger him. After all, if one did that, the warrior would be killed on the spot. They would not survive long. Facing Ying's blow, Yishuwen had no fear at all. Although he became instinctually vigilant, he was not terrified of Ying yet. Chang! Yishuwen wielded his fiery long saber instantly. Near the fire spiritual pool, the fire-attributed spiritual energy was abundant. Here, the wood-burning saber technique was enhanced to an unprecedented level, approaching elite human level. Boom! The wood-burning saber technique in Yi Zaiwen's hand left a saber injury on the massive claw imbued with water power. One was the ultimate water power, and the other was the ultimate fire power. At this moment, an astonishing collision occurred. The incompatibility of water and fire reflected in front of everyone's eyes. The power of water and fire entangled in the air, condensed into a massive energy ball. It exploded as the momentum exceeded its limits. Horrifying shock waves swept out alongside the heat wave. Yishuan only felt an astonishing heat wave coming, pushing him a few steps back. His clothes rustled. The mist produced a collision of water, and fire quickly spread throughout the entire palace. Since the fog contained chaotic water and fire power, everyone's spiritual senses turned blind. They could only analyze their surroundings with naked eyes. But at this moment, Yishuan took action. He leaped out immediately. With the fiery long saber in his hand, he took advantage of the chaos in his attempt to kill Yi Ying. Yi Zaiwen's strong performance also shocked the warriors who were watching the battle. They didn't expect that Yishuan would escalate the battle to this level, competing against Yi Ying with no signs of losing. Yishuan was like a phantom, seizing the opportunity and taking the first move. They all knew Yi Ying's capability. Among the existing warriors, he was peerless. It was not that Yi Ying was terrible, but Yishuan was overwhelming. Chapter 890. Chapter 890. Fighting Yi Ying. Yi Zaiwen's counterattack arrived in an instant. The fiery long saber in his hand was the most effective beside this fire spiritual pool. Wherever he went, it seemed that even the sky was about to be burned. His surrounding mist evaporated immediately. The terrifying saber swooshed in an instant, cutting through the vast sky and falling in front of Yi Ying. Yi Ying was a little surprised. He did not expect Yi Zaiwen's reaction speed to be so fast. However, Yi Ying's combat prowess should not be underestimated. In just an instant, he reacted by summoning a water wall from the void. Boom! The fiery long saber slashed on the water wall. A raging mist erupted in an instant. The sizzling in the air was endless. But the fiery long saber quickly slashed through the water wall. The water wall summoned abruptly was incomparable with Yi Zaiwen's burning wood saber, particularly the current environment. This little time window was enough for Yi Ying to escape from Yi Zaiwen's attack. Yishuan secretly felt that it was a pity that he couldn't eliminate Yi Ying in one go. Yi Ying's strength should not be underestimated. Compared with Bai Chen and the like, he was peerless. Yi Zaiwen's current standing at Transcendent Realm's 2nd level had a big gap with Yi Ying in Transcendent Realm 5th level peak. Among the Flourish Cloud Sea region's young experts, this Yi Ying would rank in the first 40. Yi Ying looked at Yishuan with lingering fears. He didn't expect Yishuan to almost kill him just now. If he hadn't reacted quickly enough, he would die in the human brat's hands. It had been a long time since they met. Yi Zaiwen's strength had changed so drastically that it went beyond his imagination. Previously, Yishuan could only flee in embarrassment, but now, Yishuan was capable of contending with him. Most importantly, Yishuan was just a Transcendent Realm's 2nd level. He never thought that a Transcendent Realm's 2nd level human could threaten him. The opponent's combat power was terrifying. If such a person were allowed to grow further, he would become a threat to the clan in the future. Thinking of this, cold glitter flashed in his eyes. Murderous intent raged in his heart. At this time, Yishuan also noticed the killing intent in Yi Ying's eyes. He naturally knew where the other party's killing intent came from. Though, he merely sneered in response. He hadn't bothered with the clan yet. Who is this Yishuan? Muse Yao, do you know him? In the distance, Qidong looked at Yishuan in deep thoughts. This fighting power should rank among the first 100 younger generation warriors. But it's simply impossible for us to have never heard of him yet. Yao Qian just glanced at Yishuan faintly and said, I don't know. He appears out of thin air magically. But it is also true that the genius count in this world is unfathomable. It is almost endless. There are not merely 100 of them according to the ranking. Every time the top 100 ranks shuffled, new faces appeared. However, It is relatively rare for the new face to attain 50 at once. Qidong said lightly. Haha, but speaking of it, your ranking in the top 100 should improve after the Holy Realm Dweller's Mansion closes. Judging by your aura, I'm afraid you're not far from Transcendent Realm's 6th level. Your strength will allow you to make it into the top 20 in one fell swoop. Isn't young Master Qi the same too? The rankings contest will only get more intense. Those who had the limelight last time have improved greatly, Yao Qian said plainly. Everything was within her expectations. Qidong was a little dignified. In the flourished Cloud Sea region, the competition was naturally fierce, especially for the younger generation of experts. New experts would appear at every ranking contest. It naturally affected those with great aspirations a lot. Scarlet Thunder Immortal's gaze flickered a bit. She probably didn't expect that Yi Shiwen could have such strength. Not only did he not die under Yi Ying's hands, but he even suppressed Yi Ying. It was apparent in just 2 exchanges of blows. For the experts, it was not difficult to form a conclusion here. Initially, she wanted to behead Yi Shiwen straight away, but Yi Ying preempted her. Despite her hatred toward Yi Shiwen, she didn't want to be at odds with Yi Ying due to this matter. After all, the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan still had great prestige. Not everyone disregarded it like Yi Shiwen. Yi Shiwen is dead anyway. But what happened next was obviously beyond her expectation. She couldn't calm down. Little brat, I failed to kill you previously, and you're now a trouble. Yi Ying looked at Yi Shiwen and said bitterly. These were congruent with his deep thoughts. He regretted deeply, allowing Yi Shiwen to grow to an alarming level. Don't worry. I won't make the same mistake as yours, replied Yi Shiwen coldly. Yi Ying's cheeks flushed with anger immediately. Yi Ziwen's words struck his soft spot. Yi Shiwen didn't put him in the eyes and wanted to kill him. Wishful thinking. Arrogant, retorted Yi Ying. He took the initiative to attack Yi Shiwen. A pair of iron claws appeared in his hand. He suddenly grabbed at the thin air with a claw aura gushing forward fiercely. The sharp claw aura instantly clashed on Yi Ziwen's body, intending to tear Yi Shiwen into pieces. Asterisk Xiao! Asterisk Yi Ziwen's figure rose to the sky and barely avoided the sharp attack. At the moment he flew up into the air, Ying delivered another blow on him. The fiery long saber was wielded immediately. It was another downward slash. Yi Ziwen's saber momentum was fast and steady, as if he had fully grasped this saber technique. He delivered the slash with no pauses. When Ying noticed that he missed, he immediately jumped away. Yi Ziwen's spiritual senses had already locked on him. The opponent wielded the long saber tightly. As if the space was torn apart, another slash approached Ying in the blink of an eye. Although he had already reacted extremely fast, he didn't expect that Yi Ziwen's speed was faster than he thought. The long saber instantly fell on his shoulder, and the slash penetrated his physical body. Puff! The mangling sound of flesh was followed by thick bloody mists rising. It was all because the fiery saber aura evaporated Yi Ying's blood before it had time to gush out. Bloody mist entangled his wound. Yi Ying's face distorted due to the violent pain. He had never been so frustrated and helpless. As a figure only second to Crown Prince Crocodile in the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan, he had great authority. He was unrivaled among his peers. It was also precisely because of this that Ying went about with his nose in the air. Even since his debut, he was rarely injured, let alone sustaining a severe injury in the current situation. He almost lost his hand and became disabled. His face turned sour. He let out a roar with his figure backed wildly, barely avoiding the fiery long saber's slash. But even so, half of his arm was almost cut off. After escaping the fiery long saber's slash, he immediately activated the recovery technique. He finally stopped the blood gushing out of his body. He immediately returned his gaze at Yi Shiwen and said viciously, "Little bastard, I want you to die without a complete corpse." He growled in a low voice, like a wounded beast. Die! Ying roared, ignoring the blood trickled out of his body. It melted into the air. Simultaneously, Ying was getting stronger and stronger with his aura intensifying at an alarming rate. The trickled blood formed a looming phantom of a crocodile behind him, the ancient baron's giant crocodile phantom. Although it was only a phantom, the power within spewed despair unto the witnesses. Slowly, the ancient baron's giant crocodile and Ying merged. At this moment, he seemed to be transformed into an ancient baron's giant crocodile. Shwa! With a loud blast, the ancient baron's giant crocodile phantom under Ying's control scratched towards Yishuan. The phantom was massive as a small mountain. Its random scratch could easily tear the space. Just like the rebirth of the ancient wilderness beast, the power rendered unparalleled horror only by looking at it. Yishuan immediately kicked his feet and retreated backward, avoiding this terrifying scratch. His gaze became dignified. This should be Ying's strongest trump card, but even so, it was not easy to deal with. Being caught by this phantom would bear terrible results. Before Yishuan could think about it further, the ancient baron's giant crocodile phantom grabbed the vast sky again, swiftly like lightning. The scratch streaked across the vast sky and approached Yishuan. Chapter 891. Chapter 891. Ancient Baron's giant crocodile Yizaiwen's figure flickered again, wrapped in a golden light cluster. When he appeared again, he had already avoided the ancient Baron's giant crocodile's attack. The experts in the hall all looked at Yishuan in dismay. Everyone present was an expert. Naturally, they realized that Yishuan was so fast, almost like teleporting. As for actual teleport, they had never thought about it. This place was unlike the true martial domain. If they were in the true martial domain, they could evoke a space crack with their cultivation and phase through the space. However, on the ancient Baron's continent, the best they could do was to create space ripples. It would be impossible to break the space unless there was a warrior proficient with spatial ability. Even so, it was still difficult for people with spatial talents to reach such a speed in the ancient Baron's continent. Moreover, the most important thing was that they did not feel the space being torn apart. Although they could not phase through space, they naturally had a reasonably deep understanding of the space after reaching the transcendent realm. Once there was space fluctuation, they could detect it immediately. This man is so strong. Even Ying has to use the ultimate trump card to deal with him. His strength is simply outrageous. Yes, the legend says that Ying is second only to Crown Prince Crocodile and Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan. Now he is pushed to such a point. It is completely unexpected. Looking at this move, I remembered a rumor that Ying has the blood of ancient Baron's giant crocodile. I didn't expect it to be true. Ying awakened it already, someone mentioned. Immediately, everyone had chills run down their spine, no matter if it was Sea Clan expert or Human Clan expert. During the ancient era, the ancient Baron's continent was in a different layout. Intelligent creatures were not dominant in the world. There was only wildness, no matter whether it was the mainland or the deep sea. Giant beasts were well established. Those giant beasts had the limitless ability to terraform. They were all omnipotent. It was an era of rampant monsters. At that time, whether it was a human clan or a sea clan, they were nothing. The one who dominated the world was Dragon Clan, Phoenix Clan, and so on. Until now, they were still famous clan groups. Even today, in fact, in the depths of the sea, there were still some terrifying ancient Baron's beasts hibernating. These giant beasts that survived since ancient times were in deep slumber. If they were to wake up, blood would be spilled. It was imaginable how strong these ancient Baron's beasts were. This was also the fundamental reason why everyone was wary of Ying. You're courting death. You must die today. Ying had a sour face. The wound on his left shoulder was recovered gradually, but his face turned pale at the same time. The cost of maintaining this phantom should be high. I have intended to reserve this trick for Crown Prince Crocodile. I didn't expect myself to use it here first. You did a great job irritating me. You want get out of here alive? He didn't feel that he was discriminating against Yishuan all the time. He just thought that Yi Shiwen was vile, deserving to be dead. He gathered the water vapors on his hand, morphing a dozen crocodiles imbued with water power. Under his command, these crocodiles roared and rushed toward Yi Shiwen. They bared their teeth and claws, wanting to chew Yi Shiwen into pieces. Humph! Yi Shiwen snorted coldly. The veins in his hand protruded. On his arm, countless chi seemed to become active in an instant, all instilled on the wood-burning saber in his hand. The flame in the sky grew more intense in an instant, dyeing the sky red. It appeared as if the whole world was about to set ablaze. Even Yao Qian and Qidong, who were far away, felt the monstrous heat wave emitted by the wood-burning saber. Their complexion changed slightly. This wood-burning saber technique is nothing more than the intermediate human level. He pushes it to the elite human level. How did he achieve it? Yao Qian's expression reflected her surprise blatantly. She was well aware of the item she sold. Of course, for any technique sold in auction, her chamber would reserve a copy. Everyone knew about the rules. It was just that she didn't take the technique to heart. After all, the Chamber of Commerce would not be short of such martial techniques. For countless years, they had collected numerous martial techniques in this way. But for the wood-burning saber technique that was just sold, she still had some impression on it. It was a somewhat incomplete intermediate human-level martial technique. The experts in the Chamber of Commerce graded it that way. It was still just a martial technique of intermediate human level with limited potential after successfully learning it. After restoring the technique to completion, it was just a martial technique of advanced human level. But it did not seem to be the case in Yi Zaiwen's hands. This saber technique had exerted unprecedented power, even surpassing her initial deduction. Although the environment played a factor, Yi Zaiwen's control of this saber technique was terrifying. Among these top young experts, their cultivation gap was minute. For the bottom 50 among the top 100, they were at Transcendent Realm 4th level peak. The reason they could surpass other Transcendent Realm 4th level experts was fundamentally due to their grasp on the secret technique they had learned. Most of these experts were from established backgrounds. The forces behind them possessed advanced human level and even elite human level martial techniques. In this case, it was not that the higher the level of martial techniques, the better the power output. Only a high degree of mastery would escalate them to a higher level. He manifested all these water crocodiles with the blood essence in his body. The ridiculous consumption still made his face pale despite his impressive background. Countless water crocodiles whizzed under his will, densely packed. The group of water crocodiles bombarded Yi Shiwen, almost covering the entire sky. Any of these water crocodiles were capable of shredding the existence of ordinary Transcendent Realm 5th level experts in an instant. Dozens of them swooshed down from the sky all at once with a terrifying momentum, as if to destroy the world. Ha 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 ha, little brat, you will die today! Yi Ying roared delightfully. Yi Zaiwen's face was solemn. Golden divinity clad his body. He launched himself to the air and confronted the attack directly. Chapter 892. Chapter 892, Killing Yi Ying. You want my death? I want die before you! Yi Shiwen sneered, wielding the wood-burning saber, delivered a slash imbued with fiery red saber aura. It streaked across the sky unobstructed. Immediately, a water crocodile opened its mouth and bit toward Yi Shiwen. Yi Shiwen immediately exerted force on the long saber in his hand and slashed forward. Puff! Yi Shiwen slashed the water crocodile in half. He dived swiftly into the crocodile group with no pauses. Unexpectedly, this is Yi Ying's trump card. If he didn't use it personally, we might have suffered a big loss in the future contests with him. That kid is stronger than Yi Ying. What's his name? Yi Shiwen. He is terrifying. How can ordinary people compare to his techniques? These two people are way over our league. Typical Transcendent Realm 5th level warrior would not be able to withstand an attack like this at all. Transcendent Realm 6th level experts would not be as good as them too. Yes, and the most important thing is that they are all younger generations. The younger generations now are so terrifying. Hey, in just 2 years, there will be no place for us. Thinking back to when we were still young, we aren't like them. Yes, their generation is strong and outrageous. They have even surpassed many older generation experts. It's horrifying. Each of those water crocodiles was like a giant monster. They swooped directly at Yishiwen. Wherever they passed through, a long water trail would appear. Having the same water attribute, the water crocodiles materialized like a deluge, having an oppressive current. Boom! Yishiwen directly squeezed an approaching water crocodile with his left hand. In front of him, these water crocodiles were no threat at all. Boom! 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 Series of water crocodiles' explosions swept out of the group. Every time the explosion sounded, it signified Yishiwen taking down another water crocodile. Just as Yishiwen exploded another water crocodile yet again, a monstrous and massive claw swooshed from the sky suddenly. Ying launched a close proximity attack. After combining with the ancient baron's giant crocodile's massive phantom, Ying instantly rushed to Yishiwen like a bloody streamer. He went all out, intending to rake Yishiwen to death on the spot without giving Shiwen any chance to react. This secret technique would take a massive toll on him. He couldn't let the battle drag any further. His best move would be eliminating Yishiwen as early as possible. This time he would not be as careless as in the past. He didn't take Yishiwen seriously at all last time, nor did he think Yishiwen would be a threatening opponent, so he didn't care. However, when he inspected Yishiwen tightly, this opponent was already a fatal nemesis. He had to get serious. He vowed that he would never give Yishiwen this opportunity again. Clang. Yishiwen slashed with his fiery long saber. Trails of flame followed the slash. With that, he confronted the attack directly. Puff! A water crocodile roaming between the two attempted to maim Yishiwen, rendering Yishiwen immobile. To everyone's surprise, Yishiwen was faster. In a moment, Yishiwen lifted the saber and delivered yet another slash. This tyrannical water crocodile was cut in half on the spot like a hot knife through butter. He eliminated it easily. After smashing this water crocodile, he saw that the blood-colored massive claw in the sky had appeared in front of him. Without having much chance to consider his option, Yishiwen raised his saber and dealt another blow to the opponent. Boom! The long saber in Yishiwen's hand slammed into the massive claw. Terrifying force swept out from the center where they collided, instantly distorting the surrounding space, creating visible ripples. The storm dissipated. Everyone looked intently, but it was not as everyone imagined. Yishiwen was not blown away. On the contrary, Yishiwen was calm and unmoved. The ancient baron's beast's phantom could not sway Yishiwen's figure. Is he still human? Could he be a monster in human skin? Everyone was stunned. Everyone could feel the momentum of the ancient baron's giant crocodile's claw. It was like a mountain pressing over, rendering the opponent out of breath. However, it did not waver Yishiwen at all. This Yishiwen was too scary. Even Ying, seeing this scene in front of him, felt a little frightened and silly. After using all his strength, he was still helpless with Yishiwen. This was something he hadn't thought of at the beginning. Yishiwen instantly swung his saber to kill a few water crocodiles who clashed with him indiscriminately. A dangerous aura on his body began to condense. An aura that resembled an ancient baron's behemoth appeared on his body. The countless vital energy and blood on him boiled, forming a vague star beast phantom behind him. It stared straight at the ancient baron's giant crocodile. Yishiwen had unleashed the star beast's bloodline power. It was similar to the previous star beast avatar. After the star beast phantom was manifested, it grew even more terrifying and more powerful. The star beast's phantom slowly combined with Yishiwen. Like Ying, he condensed his star beast phantom through the combination of Qi and star beast's bloodline power. It was a wild inspiration after witnessing Ying's technique. It did not seem too complicated. Of course, the prerequisite would be the possession of a particular bloodline. In other words, only those who met the criteria could achieve this feat. Not everyone had such talent. This was why many were jealous of those with talents. They could easily do things that ordinary people couldn't achieve. Such a feat could not be accomplished with hard work alone. Yishuan felt his combat power instantly soared after condensing the phantom of Star Beast. It was indeed a correct approach. With him slowly condensing and absorbing the refined Star Beast's bloodline power, he could materialize the actual Star Beast. But like Ying, Yishuan could also feel that the vital energy and blood and qi on his body were being consumed at a terrifying speed, which alarmed him. But fortunately, whether it was the purity of the bloodline or his qi, he was far more robust than Ying. He did not go pale like Ying. Sha! Under Yi Zaiwen's command, the Star Beast Phantom immediately launched its claw, streaking through the sky, blasting the air, and caught the Ancient Baron's giant crocodile's phantom. Although the Ancient Baron's giant crocodile was agile, Yi Zaiwen's Star Beast Phantom was way over his caliber. Boom! The Star Beast instantly struck the Ancient Baron's giant crocodile's phantom. Boom! The Ancient Baron's giant crocodile was like a stray kite with a broken string. The massive body was blown to the sky. Then, it crashed to the floor, forming a pit. All of a sudden, the smoke and dust overflowed everywhere, causing waves of terrifying heat. There was an unexpected battle outcome. Everyone was stunned. They did not expect Ying's Ancient Baron's giant crocodile to be at such a disadvantage. Although the two of them were facing each other in the middle of the battlefield, everyone seemed to have witnessed two vicious beasts, as if they were returning to the ancient era. The distant era in which wilderness beasts were the overlord. Yi Zaiwen's Star Beast slapped Ying heavily. The phantom's protection only stopped Ying from puking blood directly. Without the said protection, he would be long dead already. He was shocked and inexplicable this time. Fear overwhelmed him. His ultimate trump card was to gain power far beyond the typical Transcendent Realm 5th level warrior through Ancient Baron's giant crocodile bloodline. But if he was still at a disadvantage with this trump card, he had nothing else. Yi Shiwen! Ying roared. He was in a sorry state, but he refused to accept defeat. A burst of blood mist seeped from his body, filling the Ancient Baron's giant crocodile's phantom. It was not a battle of personal feeling but a life and death matter. If he failed to behead Yishuan, he would be the one who ended up dead. The desperate expression on his face was unexpected from the beginning. He could not imagine being overwhelmed before it all began. His anger soared to the sky. His eyes were as sharp as sabers. If his gaze could kill someone, he would have punctured Yi Zaiwen's body with thousands of holes like a hornet nest. Boom! Yishuan did not hesitate. Star Beast's massive claws came up again. Boom! The Ancient Baron's giant crocodile's body was slammed into the pit, expanding the radius and its depth. Yishuan, you shall die with me! Ying roared, spurting out a mouthful of blood with his eyes full of resentment. Die with you? You're overestimating yourself. Yishuan sneered. The intimidating Star Beast Phantom stepped on the opponent immediately. It directly trampled the Ancient Baron's giant crocodile's phantom, unobstructed. Boom! Ying turned directly into a cluster of blood mist. Agonizing screams echoed over the entire hall. Chapter 893. Chapter 893. Who else has a dispute on this? The whole hall was silent. Only the crackle of flame remained. Everyone witnessed Yishuan trampling Ying to death in a daze. Everyone was dumbfounded. Although there were not many people present, they were all elites. They could all see how terrifying Yishuan was. No one was confident to escape from the awakened Ying except Yao Qian and Qidong. After the transformation, Ying was absolutely terrifying, far beyond ordinary people's imagination. But Yishuan still defeated the impossible Ying in ease. Yishuan seemed to be able to transform as well. The onlookers had never seen that ancient beast. They didn't know what kind of ancient beast it was, but they were certain that it would not be inferior to Ancient Baron's giant crocodile. Otherwise, Ying would not be able to easily defeat it. In their hearts, Yishuan has suddenly become the most terrifying person on the spot. Yishuan not only managed to kill Ying, but more importantly, he was only at the Transcendent Realm's second level. Yet, he possessed terrifying combat power. If he continued to grow, he would definitely become a terrifying expert. What they didn't expect was that Yishuwen didn't bother with the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan's fame at all. Ying was definitely an important young expert in Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan, second only to Crown Prince Crocodile. Despite that, Yishuwen still decided to commit murder. Yi Xiangshan's death was not the end. Although the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan cared about Yi Xiangshan's death, they were merely disturbed. It wasn't a big deal. At most, they would send some people to investigate it. On the other hand, East Ying's death would drive Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan crazy. By then, Yishuwen could be facing Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan's relentless pursuit. However, judging from Yi Xuan's demeanor, it appeared he wasn't bothered. Does he have any backer? No, he definitely has a backer behind him. Otherwise, how dare he contend with the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan? He is related to Yi Xiangshan's death. Then, he kills Ying right in front of everyone. Even Yao Qian and Qidong, who are from well-known sects, dares not to do such a thing. No matter whether they have the ability or not, they will never invite a terrifying force like the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan to combat their sect. But what they didn't know was that Yi Xiaowen's reliance was not on the power of some huge clan, but on his solitude. He could just leave whenever he wanted. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan could only watch helplessly. That was why Yishuwen didn't care so much. After a moment of silence, the small hall suddenly became rowdy. The witnesses were overwhelmed by emotions. This is incredible. Ying is already powerful and outrageous. It is indeed worthy of the name of genius. It may be true that he has a chance to be compared with Crown Prince Crocodile, but he died tragically in Yi Xiaowen's hands. Is this Yishuwen so strong? Such strength can definitely be one of the top 20 among the young generations. Yishuwen will soar to the sky. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan will never give in easily. They will never let Yishuwen go so easily. Indeed, I'm afraid the sea region won't be peaceful anymore. I hope the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan will not vent on us. God knows. The people of Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan are arrogant and domineering. In this sea region, apart from the Sea Dragon Mansion can compete with him, there are almost no other forces that can compete with them. Yishuwen ignored their whispers totally. At this time, he glanced at the entire hall, only to find that Scarlet Thunder Immortal, which was still there just now, had escaped. He felt a bit regretful. He condensed the Star Beast Phantom in hopes of eliminating Scarlet Thunder Immortal too. Compared with the troublesome Yi Ying, Scarlet Thunder Immortal was undoubtedly much easier to eradicate. Thus, he decided no to take a break and utilize his peak state to kill Scarlet in one fell swoop. With that, he would eradicate future troubles too. Yishuwen did not expect her to flee after realizing the unfavorable situation, not giving him a chance at all. Although it was a deep regret, he also acknowledged Scarlet Thunder Immortal's ability to act decisively. Despite knowing being outmatched by the opponent, few people could act decisively like this. After all, Yishuwen didn't seem to have much upper hand just now. If she besieged Yishuwen alongside Yi Ying, there might be a possibility of success. However, she didn't come up and ran away. This alone was enough to show that she was not hesitant in her decision never to be sluggish. This was also precisely the reason Yishuwen grew more determined to kill her. Such a person was more troublesome than those fierce-looking opponents that were sluggish in decision-making. Next time, if I have a chance, I must get rid of her first. I won't get many opportunities like this. Although Yishuwen was strong, he was wary of Scarlet Thunder Gang's overall strength. There might not be experts surpassing Transcendent Realm and Scarlet Thunder Gang. However, there should be Transcendent Realm 7th level experts, and even 8th level experts garrisoned in their forces. Fighting against Scarlet Thunder Gang was no different to smashing an egg on a rock. It was simply impossible to win. So, if she kept hiding in the Scarlet Thunder Gang, even Yi Shiwen couldn't help with it. After all, Yi Shiwen could not keep waiting outside the Scarlet Thunder Gang. He still had many things to do. What a pity to let her escape today. Since Scarlet Thunder Immortal escaped, Yi Shiwen had no need to continue this form, so he immediately withdrew the Star Beast. Even if he could only summon a phantom now, it was still stronger than his main body. If he could condense the real body of Star Beast in the future, his power would naturally increase. But the consumption would definitely be more terrifying. He just had to maintain the Star Beast Phantom for now. As of the previous battle, it consumed a quarter of the chi in his body, and a fifth of the bloodline power. No wonder that Ying couldn't wait to attack Yi Shiwen just now. This turned out to be the reason. He could not sustain such a consumption for too long. It could only be used as the killing move or a surprise attack. The goal was to end the fight as soon as possible. However, Yi Shiwen was quite satisfied with this power. Without the Star Beast Phantom, he could wait for Ying to exit from the Ancient Baron's giant crocodile state. It was impossible to defeat Ying overwhelmingly. After checking the harvest, this Ying was indeed the top genius among the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan. His wealth was far more than that of Baichen. He actually had 50 million spirit crystals on him. Adding up to the spirit crystals Yi Shiwen owned, he had reached 120 million spirit crystals. Ying was definitely a wealthy kid among the Transcendent Realm warriors. Besides spirit crystals, treasures and martial instruments, the biggest gain was the flame essence. Ying had 4 pieces of flame essences with him. These were the essence condensed from countless flames in the fire spiritual pool. The essence was definitely a great nourishment in cultivation. It had all fallen into Yi Zaiwen's hands. Adding up with another piece in Yi Zaiwen's hand initially, there were 4 pieces of flame essence in total. The value of this flame essence was not inferior to Phoenix's flame fruit. Phoenix's flame fruit's value was to transform the body. The effect was relatively slower to materialize, unlike the flame essence that improves the cultivation almost immediately. With these flame essence, Yi Shiwen could break through in a short time. At this moment, the fire spiritual pools suddenly boiled violently. Everyone's eyes lit up. The fire spiritual pool was about to spit out flame essence. As expected, after a while, the flame essences were launched to the air. Puff! 5 flame essences were launched. Everyone was overjoyed. If there was only 1 piece, then they might have to fight to the death. If there were 5 pieces, the need for contesting them would be much smaller. But at this moment, Yi Shiwen spreaded his massive hand directly. The hand was wrapped in golden divinity. He reached directly above the flame, grabbing 5 pieces of flame essence into his hand. Everyone stared with their eyes wide open. What the hell? Although the flame essence was not hot, this fire spiritual pool was a veritable pool of life. Any physical contact would burn a warrior into coal. No one could withstand it. But Yi Shiwen was able to stand it, so he took away the flame essences directly. In that case, who else would be able to grab the flame essences in the future? Generally, when they wanted to snatch the flame essences, they would wait until the flame essences were scattered after being launched into a distance. They would typically aim for one of them, who would snatch the flame's essences directly from the top of the fire spiritual pool. They didn't know that Yi Shiwen had transformed into a phoenix physique with both Phoenix's flame fruit and Phoenix regeneration technique. His control over flame had escalated to a whole new level. With the divinity protection, he grabbed the flame essences above the fire spiritual pool. Yi Shiwen, you are undue. Are you trying to monopolize all alone? At this time, someone said in dissatisfaction. If Yi Shiwen only grabbed one of them, or even 2, they would have no opinion. But Yi Shiwen grabbed all 5 pieces. They couldn't get a piece of it. If they continued to let Yi Shiwen continue like this, they would not be able to have a share in the very end. Even if they were afraid of Yi Zaiwen's combat power, they had to stand up for it. Who else has a dispute on this? Yi Shiwen glanced coldly at the people in the hall. Chapter 894. Chapter 894. The disturbed monster. Everyone suddenly felt a little tense. At this moment, what appeared in their minds was the scene of Yishuin blowing up Ying just now. He was not a kind Samaritan but a peerless, murderous person. Whoever underestimated him would inevitably suffer a terrible loss in his hands. Just look at Ying. It was apparent Yishuin was not a soft-hearted person. Those who underestimated him would suffer terribly. At this time, everyone was thinking about whether to seize Yishuin together. Although they were aware that they were not Yi Zaiwen's opponent, they still felt that they had odds of winning if they went up together, especially with Yao Qian and Shi Dong. If Yishuin agreed to give up the remaining flame essence that might be spitting out later, they would be willing to give up. Yishuin noticed that they stopped speaking. He didn't speak either. Instead, he activated the Phoenix regeneration technique in secret to restore the vital energy and blood consumed by the Star Beast Phantom just now. After a while, Yi Zaiwen's face became ready again. His body had returned to the peak state. At this time, even if they collectively attacked Yishuin, he was not afraid. As for asking him to take out what he got, it would be simply impossible. If he was just an ordinary Transcendent Realm second level, would they give him a share? It was apparent that it would be impossible too. Whoever had the bigger fist set the rules. The most important thing was that Yishuin was not related to them in any way. Why would he give these flame essences to them? Everyone looked at Yao Qian and Shi Dong. Besides Yishuin, Yao Qian and Shi Dong had the highest cultivation among the people here. If they both took a move, then everyone would follow suit. If the two of them held themselves in, everyone would naturally have no guts to do it. While everyone was still hesitating, amidst the boundless flames of the fire spiritual pool, there was a furious roar. Unparalleled sword, how dare you! A fantastic sword aura split the flame immediately after that, and then a figure rushed out of the flame. Everyone looked intently. It was none other than Unparalleled Sword. He seemed to be carrying something in his hand. He stepped on the rainbow manifested with his sword and dashed directly out of the hall. Seeing the Unparalleled Sword's appearance, everyone was shocked with no time to figure out the reasons. The entire fire spiritual pool seemed to be boiling, setting off monstrous heat waves. Deafening roars came from underneath. Then, another water wave surged to the sky, separating the flames. A figure jumped out of it. It was none other than Crown Prince Crocodile. Unparalleled Sword and Crown Prince Crocodile rushed into the Holy Realm Dweller's mansion before anyone else. Everyone hadn't seen where the two went. It was a bit strange at first, but the reason seemed more evident at this moment. Before they diverged their attention to Crown Prince Crocodile, an Unparalleled Sword, the flame boiled again. A tremendous roar of undead came from it. Then, another huge figure jumped out of it. It was a towering burning corpse. Its eyes glimmered like two ghastly green fires. Its mouth was breathing fire. It chased directly in the direction of Crown Prince Crocodile. Yishuin was shocked. He didn't expect that there was such a towering burning corpse hidden inside. Judging its level, the burning corpse would be no less than the Transcendent Realm 9th level. He was drenched with cold sweat immediately. Crown Prince Crocodile was in a sorry state. There were blood stains all over his body. Bones were visible on the badly mutilated wounds. Worse still, there was a terrible tear. Crown Prince Crocodile appeared miserable. The crowd had never witnessed him in this state. The crowd's impression of Crown Prince Crocodile had always been arrogant and overbearing. They never encountered a wounded Crown Prince Crocodile before. Adding up to the sorry state, Crown Prince Crocodile was fleeing like crazy. Almost subconsciously, everyone started to flee madly. Perhaps many people did not have the time to assess the burning corpse's level. But they recognized that escaping would be the uppermost priority. A monster, which Crown Prince Crocodile had to flee in a sorry state, was not something they could contend with. Damn, Unparalleled Sword, I swear I will get my revenge! Crown Prince Crocodile yelled again. Apparently, he either suffered a loss in Unparalleled Sword's hands or both Unparalleled Sword and this burning corpse. This should be the very reason for his sorry state. At this moment, he saw the burning corpse behind him approaching, and his eyes flickered. Damn beast! As his hands grabbed towards both sides, it formed a suction force immediately, and caught the fleeing experts on both sides. Yishuan felt the suction sucking him in. He didn't even have time to react, and was sucked toward it. But then, he discovered that not only him but Crown Prince Crocodile had been grabbing people over to him. Those who were initially behind the burning corpse rushed toward Crown Prince Crocodile. Then, Crown Prince Crocodile turned his hands directly, throwing these people toward the burning corpse. Everyone immediately understood that Crown Prince Crocodile wanted to use them as a shield to stop the burning corpse. Immediately, the victims shouted and cursed as if they wanted to condemn Crown Prince Crocodile to death. But Crown Prince Crocodile was unfazed. He escaped farther and farther. No matter how the crowd scolded, Crown Prince Crocodile had achieved his purpose to slow down the burning corpse. Puff! The burning corpse faced an oncoming warrior, opened its claws, and directly tore the warrior in half on the spot. The Transcendent Realm 5th level expert was fragile like tofu in the face of the burning corpse. The warrior was outmatched. The blood made the burning corpse even more violent and irritable. It absorbed the blood essence from the torn-apart warrior. Everyone was terrified, they were helpless. Some warriors, who were bolder, attacked the burning corpse directly, but they couldn't withstand one blow from the burning corpse. Likewise, they were torn apart too. Ah! Then, there was a sharp cry. Yishuan turned his head and noticed that the burning corpse slammed its devastating palm on Yao Qian. The burnt mark on her chest was vile. Her figure was blown away, flying toward Yishuan. Behind her, the burning corpse also followed closely. Yishuan, hurry up! You won't be able to flee if you hesitate, Yamo quickly reminded aloud. In front of this terrifying burning corpse, Yishuan would not survive at all. The most important thing was that Yishuan did not know how strong the burning corpse was when he was alive. Yishuan was way out of his opponent's league. Yishuan gritted his teeth, looked at Yao Qian, and flew back directly. Pa! Yao Qian flew directly into Yizaiwen's arms. A massive force struck Yishuan directly through Yao Qian's body. Yishuan had directly retreated for more than 100 meters before he could regain stability. It was conceivable how heavy the impact was. Thank you, Yao Qian said feebly. In dangerous times, only Yishuan came out to help her. Everyone else was running for their lives. Who would care about her? She might be the center of attention with her beauty. Sadly, no one bothered with her anymore. No matter how beautiful she was, the others would regard their life much more important. No thanks, you helped me once in front of the auction house. Or even now! Yishuan embraced Yao Qian and flapped his storm wings instantly. He dashed immediately out of the hall. Yishuan was someone who remembered grudges and favors. He would appreciate those who helped him and retaliate against those who bared their fangs to him. Roar! The burning corpse behind him accelerated, putting Yishuan and Yao Qian as its target. Yishuan fanned the storm wings behind him relentlessly. Immediately, the sound of the storm permeated the area. The storm power directly slammed on the burning corpse. However, it could only slightly hinder the burning corpse's movement, slowing down its speed. It could not stop it from approaching. For an undead, Yizaiwen's storm power was just a tickle. Since Yishuan was carrying a person as he cruised forward, he could not accelerate his speed any further. On the contrary, this burning corpse was like the fish swimming in water. It had a higher cultivation realm as compared to Yishuan. With its superb speed, its distance to Yishuan became shorter and shorter. Yishuan felt unjust. Unparalleled Sword and Crown Prince Crocodile disturbed something to come out. What did they get under the fire spiritual pool, which caused this monster to chase after him? What was even more disgusting was that Crown Prince Crocodile used him, and Yao Qian as his shield. Since it had already come to this, complaining further would not help. Escape was of paramount importance. Roar! The burning corpse realized that Yishuan was about to escape from its grasp. It was enraged. It roared and launched its ghostly claw toward Yishiwen. Chapter 895. Chapter 895. A Duel Against Crown Prince Crocodile. Boom! That ghost claw caught directly on Yizaiwen's back. The scratch was as heavy metal. Yishiwen suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, and a terrible blow hit him severely. The blood gushed to the sky. His figure staggered and fell to the ground. "Are you okay?" Yao Qian asked feebly. At this time, she also had a pale face and asked weakly. Her beautiful eyes, looking at Yishiwen, were gleaming. How did he manage to achieve this? When everyone gave up on her, this person who had only met her once turned around and came back to save her. When she thought that her life might end here, Yishiwen managed to keep their life hanging. Is it just because of my help in front of the auction? For her, it was a piece of cake. She only hoped that the people Unparalleled Sword valued and the people he protected would not be killed. That was all. It was not a big deal. If it were her, she would not be able to go to this extent. "I'm fine." Yishiwen grinned. Blood kept flowing down into the collar, making him look amusing. "PSSCH." Yao Qian couldn't help but chuckle. She trembled a little in Yizaiwen's arms. It seemed she had torn her wound slightly. She couldn't help but cough. Yishiwen was somewhat dumbfounded. "What are you doing?" "We're running for life, miss." "Be serious." But at this time, he couldn't care less. Utilizing the heavy impact, Yishiwen flew for hundreds of meters, temporarily escaping from the grasp of the burning corpse behind him. Behind him were still the warrior's agonizing screams. Yishiwen felt somewhat helpless. He quickly took advantage of the timing to fly out of the palace. There were still a few powerful burning corpses guarding outside. Yishiwen still had to be cautious. If there were no way to break through the burning corpse group quickly, it would still be a dead end. The burning corpse behind was getting closer and closer. "Damn it! It's all or nothing!" Yishiwen roared, cursing in foul language. He extracted the emergence immortal exterminating saber from Tianyuan mirror. A martial instrument which he had not conquered. In the worst scenario, he would use emergence immortal exterminating saber to make his way out. It would be a massive toll for him to wield the emergence immortal exterminating saber, rendering him unable to utilize his other tricks. Worse still, he was still fatally injured. Emergence immortal exterminating saber was a double-edged sword for him, which would bring harm to him. Sadly, he had no other options at this time. It's now or never. There is still a way out. Yishiwen was so fast that he had rushed to the palace gate. Crown Prince Crocodile just eliminated the toughest burning corpse among the group at Transcendent Realm 8th level. For Crown Prince Crocodile, it should have been an effortless task. However, it was a little strenuous. He was seriously injured previously. At this time, there was almost no way. Since he could still eradicate the Transcendent Realm 8th level's burning corpse, it portrayed his profound combat prowess. "Brat, you're not dead yet?" The Crown Prince Crocodile sneered and looked at Yishiwen with murderous intent flashed in his eyes. In his eyes, Yishiwen was like a pest. He could not eliminate it no matter what. Yishiwen managed to escape every time. What surprised him more was that Yishiwen ascended to Transcendent Realm's 2nd level from the half-step Transcendent Realm in such a short period. Even by the standards of the genius, it was too fast. He would not regard Yishiwen as a threat because Yishiwen was not qualified yet. However, it irritated him. As long as Yishiwen is alive, it felt disgusting to him. "Thanks to you? I live longer than you." Yishiwen grinned, forcibly suppressing the injuries on his body. His expression turned serious. This would be a bloody battle, a tough battle, or even a hopeless fight. He clenched the emergence immortal exterminating saber in his hand secretly. In his peak state, he had the confidence to escape from Crown Prince Crocodile. However, he was seriously injured while under pursuit from the back. It was a dead end with no other way around it. It was his second life and death decision after he came to the ancient Baron's continent. Stubborn fellow. "It's fine, though," I will eliminate you! Crown Prince Crocodile sneered. He regarded Yi Zaiwen's words as stubborn rather than threatening. After all, Yi Zaiwen's sorry state was apparent too. I have no other options. It's a fight to the death. Yi Shiwen gritted his teeth. He heard the roar of the burning corpse getting closer and closer behind him. There were also 4 burning corpses surrounding the Crown Prince Crocodile. Being intimidated by Crown Prince Crocodile, they encircled in a distance. Chang! On Emergence Immortal Exterminating Saber, endless saber lights swept up in an instant. At this moment, Yi Shiwen was almost like an ancient overlord rebirth, surrounded by a golden light. A song that belonged to Holy Realm dwellers was sung. It came from Emergence Immortal Exterminating Saber. If one were to listen carefully, it was not a blessing from Holy Realm dwellers at all but a grudge. It was the Holy Realm dwellers' curse. It was a terrifying curse where the effect came from within. The terrifying saber aura had a clean edge. It was suppressing the Crown Prince Crocodile till he was a little out of breath. Horror was reflected in Crown Prince Crocodile's gaze. He did not expect that Yi Shiwen would have such a martial instrument. Just from a distance, he could feel the instinctual fear as if the weapon could swallow him and tear him apart. In front of this saber, Crown Prince Crocodile could feel his insignificance. He did not know what this saber had slain. It made him feel timid and made him feel the insignificance of his soul. The situation never happened previously. In the past, he had never felt that he was insignificant. Among the younger generation, he was the few people who could dominate the elites. His achievements would be limitless in the future, but now he felt so powerless. At the same time, as the horror crawled upon Crown Prince Crocodile, his greed was surging. He felt such a martial instrument was wasted in Yi Zaiwen's hands. Only he could wield its power to the peak, killing many foes in different places and create a prestigious name. Brat, if you give me this saber, I can forgive you for all your previous disrespect. How about that? Crown Prince Crocodile stared at Yi Shiwen intently and demanded. His side gaze was all on the Emergence Immortal Exterminating Saber in Yi Zaiwen's hands. Do you think I will believe you? Yi Shiwen said with a cold smile. Do you think everyone had a crocodile brain like you? Yi Shiwen had seen through it all already. The Emergence Immortal Exterminating Saber was his only way out. Without Emergence Immortal Exterminating Saber, he was certain that Crown Prince Crocodile would kill him on the spot and would not give him any chance. For people like Crown Prince Crocodile, Yi Shiwen had a clear understanding. No matter whether he gave out the Emergence Immortal Exterminating Saber or not, Crown Prince Crocodile would not let him go. Crown Prince Crocodile had a long face in embarrassment. As what Yi Shiwen had thought, he did not intend to let Yi Shiwen go. Whether Yi Shiwen was willing to hand over Emergence Immortal Exterminating Saber, he would still behead Yi Shiwen. He could not bear such an annoying human to be alive. At this time, he was irritated, being unable to acquire Emergence Immortal Exterminating Saber. He was also embarrassed with his inner thoughts, figured out by his opponent. His killing intent on Yi Shiwen's sword. Since he is not willing to give it, then I will grab it. It's just putting in more effort. For such a magnificent saber, only I'm worthy to wield it. Pfft. At this tense moment, Yao Qian in Yi Zaiwen's arms giggled abruptly. Crocodile brain. Yi Shiwen was probably the only one who dared to speak to Crown Prince Crocodile like this in the flourished Cloud Sea region. Even the unparalleled sword would not talk like that. Brat, you're enjoying your romance, yeah? Crown Prince Crocodile sneered, looking at Yao Qian, who was in Yi Zaiwen's arms, and said, What a great opportunity to send you both to hell, enjoying the life of a ghost couple. Yao Qian resented the humiliation. As the sunny bamboo chamber of commerce's heir, even those who had coveted her for a long time dared not to speak so presumptuously. Yi Shiwen didn't care about Crown Prince Crocodile's mockery. He clenched Emergence Immortal Exterminating Saber. It's now or never. Yi Shiwen gritted his teeth and waved the Emergence Immortal Exterminating Saber in his hand. Every slash could easily make ripples into space, showing unimaginable power. If most of its ability hadn't been sealed, the effect would not be just like that. Chapter 896. Chapter 896. 3 years close cultivation. Seeing the departure of Crown Prince Crocodile, Yi Shiwen finally breathed a sigh of relief. If Crown Prince Crocodile decided to fight just now, he would have to fight for his life. There was no other way despite the slim winning chance. The best Yi Shiwen could achieve was to let Crown Prince Crocodile suffer terribly. He was satisfied with just that result. As soon as Crown Prince Crocodile left, the 4 burning corpses, without deterrence, immediately rushed towards Yi Shiwen. Clang! The emergence immortal exterminating saber in Yi Shiwen's hand instantly burst into a brilliant saber light. He wielded the emergence immortal exterminating saber and straying. Shwa! An astonishing saber aura instantly slashed out. A transcendent realm 6th level burning corpse was immediately split in half. In front of this emergence immortal exterminating saber, it had no chance to fight back. Puff! Yi Shiwen spat out another mouthful of blood with his figure trembling slightly. Are you okay? Yao Qian asked. She could feel that using this emergence immortal exterminating saber was a huge burden for him. A single slash would make him spat out a mouthful of blood essence. Although this saber was powerful and scary, the ramifications were also the same. Yi Shiwen endured heavy backlash. Yi Shiwen didn't answer but shook his head. He was holding his breath now. If he were to speak, the breath would be gone. He wouldn't be able to last long. The pair of golden wings behind him flapped again. He immediately dashed out of the gap in the middle. Asterisk roar! Asterisk the burning corpse next to him filled his ears with roars. Another hand grabbed towards him. It was a transcendent realm 7th level burning corpse. If the burning corpse landed the hit, Yi Shiwen was certain that he would not be able to escape. I have to fight. Yi Shiwen became more determined. He waved emergence immortal exterminating saber again in his hand. An amazing saber aura quickly spun in the sky. It looked like a halo spinning in the sky, directly causing ripples in the sky. The slash quickly entered the chest of this burning corpse. The heavy might tore the burning corpse in half. Puff! Yi Shiwen spouted another mouthful of blood. He started to feel dizzy. Most of his chi was taken away. This emergence immortal exterminating saber was too costly to wield. Since he could not wield it entirely during the peak state, let alone he was severely injured already. He quickly suppressed the injury on his body with the Phoenix regeneration technique, preventing it from worsening. He managed to stay flying. After successfully sustaining a backlash, Yi Shiwen breathed a sigh of relief and rushed out directly. The other 2 burning corpses couldn't stop him at all and let him escape. After successfully escaping the palace, Yi Shiwen and Yao Qian both breathed a sigh of relief. In a bottomless oceanic trench, there was silence around it. No creatures in the sea approached. There was a looming protective shield above the trench, dividing the trench inside and outside like 2 worlds. In the trench, a man and a woman sat on the sea bottom. The tremendous pressure of the seawater beside them did not seem to cause any problems to them. It was Yi Shiwen and Yao Qian. Both of them were treating their injuries with breathing techniques. The first to recover was Yi Shiwen, who was fatally injured. Phoenix regeneration technique was worthy of the top recovery martial techniques. Even if Yi Shiwen's injury was more serious, he was one step ahead of Yao Qian in recovery. After returning to the peak, Yi Shiwen breathed a sigh of relief. The situation just now was too dangerous. If he didn't leave in time, he might fall into the hands of the terrifying burning corpse and get torn apart. However, after his recovery was over, Yao Qian had already recovered, but she did not stop. Instead, she continued to attempt her breakthrough. After swallowing the flame essence, she planned to ascend to Transcendent Realm 6th level in one go. She was already at Transcendent Realm 5th level peak. There was only a tiny gap to enter the Transcendent Realm 6th level. This injury had become an opportunity instead. she wanted to utilize this opportunity to attain the Transcendent Realm's 6th level. There was a considerable gap between the Transcendent Realm 5th level and the Transcendent Realm 6th level. Among the 9 Transcendent Realm levels, the first 3 levels were the initial stage, the middle 3 levels were the intermediate stage. After entering the Transcendent Realm 6th level, she was basically at the Transcendent Realm intermediate peak. Transcendent Realm 7th level would be the next stage. Yishiwen saw that she didn't leave directly, so he ignored her. He entered close cultivation too. He realized his shortcomings after the previous experience, especially compared to the top young figures like Crown Prince Crocodile. There was still a gap that allowed the opponent to run over him smoothly. He needed to improve as soon as possible to catch up with the younger generation elites and ancient barons. If others heard the news about it, they would think Yishiwen was too arrogant. However, Yishiwen did not see the process as challenging. After all, he was already at the top among the younger generation in true martial domain. It was just a change of environment. There was no reason to downplay himself. Most importantly, despite having more geniuses in ancient baron's domain than true martial domain, the cultivation environment was much more comfortable than the true martial domain. That would be Yi Zaiwen's advantage. Like Yao Qian, Yishiwen also began to consume the flame essence. Although flame essence was extra helpful for people with fire-attributed cultivation techniques, Yishiwen did not cultivate fire-attributed cultivation techniques. Hence, the effect was relatively poor. Still, Yishiwen didn't care less. Anyway, he had 10 pieces of flame essence. As long as his cultivation realm could be improved, it was not a waste to consume them all. At the moment the flame essence was consumed, the qi in Yi Zaiwen's body immediately boiled. Yi Zaiwen's body had gradually transformed into the physique of a phoenix. He had a good affinity with fire-attributed energy. Since the flame essence's effect was similar, Yishiwen found it easier to utilize it fully. These 10 flame essences were definitely enough to transform Yi Zaiwen's fire spirit body characteristic to the next level. It produced a natural enhancement to the martial techniques of fire attributes. The fire spirit body was also famous among many unique physiques. The 5 elements spirit body was famous. It pushed the control over element-attributed martial techniques to an extraordinary level. Of course, the most important thing was to be able to advance Yi Zaiwen's cultivation. The energy in the flame essence had gradually transformed into energy Yishiwen capable of absorbing. His cultivation also advanced bit by bit. When Yishiwen pushed his cultivation to the Transcendent Realm's 2nd level peak, it was already 2 years later. Yi Zaiwen's previous cultivation advancement was too fast. Now Yishiwen wanted to recuperate this defect and consolidate the foundation. On this day, Yishiwen continued to consolidate his foundation. Suddenly, a powerful aura burst out of Yao Qian's body not far away. She couldn't hold the aura in, and it shot straight into the sky. Yishiwen immediately knew that Yao Qian had already attained a breakthrough, 1 step faster than him. However, Yao Qian didn't move and seemed to be consolidating her new realm. It was only a month later that she finished consolidating her realm. Yao Qian stopped her cultivation. Her aura at the Transcendent Realm's 6th level was utterly different from the past. She had become more robust, definitely not just a little bit. She looked at Yishiwen with a slightly complicated expression. Without this person, she would have been eliminated in the hands of the burning corpse. She would never have survived. Not to mention, she would be able to ascend into Transcendent Realm's 6th level. Although she helped Yishiwen previously, she still felt that Yishiwen helped her more. Most importantly, she did not need to take any real risks to help Yishiwen at that time, but Yishiwen came to save her with her life in danger. Seeing that Yishiwen was still in close cultivation, she directly transmitted the voice. Yishiwen, I will hold a gathering of young experts 1 year later. If you're free from close cultivation at that time, please attend. After she finished speaking, a light shone from her feet. She flew straight out of the oceanic trench. Yishiwen closed his eyes and didn't get up, but it didn't mean that he didn't realize anything. He left some of his spiritual sense outside of him during his close cultivation. A gathering of young experts a year from now? Yi Shiwen was a little eager for it. He didn't know what level he was among the young experts of the flourished Cloud Sea region. This would be an excellent opportunity to let Yi Shiwen grasp his standing. Moreover, Yao Qian hosted it. Hence, attending young experts would not be inferior. This was precisely what Yi Shiwen needed. However, Yi Shiwen did not dawdle in his thoughts any further but immersed in his cultivation. He did not pay too much attention to it. After all, he did not know whether he could be released from his cultivation after a year. If he failed to do so, he would miss it. Yi Ziwen's aura continued to grow stronger. He was challenging the transcendent realm 3rd level. He kept activating. Observing person scripture. The mini-universe in his body was rotating continuously, absorbing the rich power of flame essence. In the past 3 years, he had consumed 3 flame essences. If Yi Shiwen majored in cultivation techniques with fire attributes, 3 flame essences worth of energy would be enough for him to directly enter the Transcendent Realm 5th level. However, Yi Shiwen merely stopped at Transcendent Realm 2nd level peak. But Yi Shiwen didn't care, nor felt that it was a pity. Little by little, he struck the barrier to attain Transcendent Realm 3rd level. In a blink of an eye, another year passed. Yi Ziwen's aura gradually became more robust. He dissipated the realm barrier many times. The Transcendent Realm 3rd level's realm barrier also became smaller bit by bit. Finally, Yi Shiwen launched another hit on the realm barrier. Boom! Yi Ziwen's aura finally soared into the sky, no longer stagnating. Chapter 897. Chapter 897, 99th Concubine. Yi Ziwen's aura had a drastic difference. He retracted all the aura seeping out of his body with ease. It did not alert anyone. Yi Shiwen opened his eyes. After 3 years, he finally ascended to Transcendent Realm 3rd level. After he entered the Ancient Baron's continent, this was his most extended breakthrough despite under the flame essence's effect. Of course, this had a lot to do with him deliberately slowing his progress. Laying a good foundation was still his highest priority. In true martial domain, his cultivation had come to the upper limit. However, in Ancient Barons, he could only be regarded as a younger generation of warriors at best. He was still in the stage of laying a foundation. At this time, the more solid the foundation, the more helpful it would be for his future cultivation. However, the close cultivation for the past 3 years was not in vain. After all, he also entered the Transcendent Realm 3rd level. In addition to Yi Ziwen's close cultivation, even Emo was also in close cultivation in these 3 years. In that Holy Realm Dweller's mansion, Tianyuan Mirror had assimilated way too much vital energy and blood essence. It took a while to absorb them. When Tianyuan became available, it had evolved into an advanced human-level martial instrument. Yi Shiwen speculated the time again. It had come to the date Yao Qian mentioned, the gathering of young experts. He just wasn't sure if he missed it. Thinking of this, Yi Shiwen stood up and flew out of the oceanic trench, heading straight to the nearby sunny bamboo island. At first glance, the entire sunny bamboo island was lively. The city didn't seem to have regressed because of the Holy Realm Dweller's mansion incident 3 years ago. The entire sunny bamboo island was discussing the gathering of young experts held by Yao Qian. Not anyone could attend this gathering. It was undoubtedly only the top-notch young experts could attend. Therefore, a massive crowd paid close attention to this gathering, especially Sunny Bamboo Island's Muse Yao invited young experts. These factors undoubtedly made the whole event more eye-catching. Yi Shiwen did not go directly to the Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce. He first found an inn to settle down. Yi Shiwen just walked in, and the waiter enthusiastically stepped forward and asked, "What does the dear customer want?" "I just want to have something to eat." Yi Shiwen was not demanding in this regard. "By the way, is the gathering of young experts held by Muse Yao over already?" "It turns out that dear customer is also here to participate in the gathering of young experts." The waiter came to realize that, judging from Yi Ziwen's young age and high cultivation, he came here to attend young experts' gathering. "You're in the right timing. The gathering starts today." It is said that in addition to our young experts near sunny Bamboo Island, there are also many experts on the flourished Cloud Sea region in the top 100 list visiting personally. It's lively and brilliant with many young stars. Can the experts near sunny Bamboo Island also participate? Yi Shiwen asked curiously. Well, young experts above the Transcendent Realm's second level can enter. However, they are only foils here. The center of attention will be the young experts on the top 100 list, the waiter explained. Yi Shiwen agreed with it too. These young experts near sunny Bamboo Island were only sidekicks at best. The real protagonists should also be those masters on the top 100 list. The waiter quickly prepared meals for Yi Shiwen, while Yi Shiwen just sat quietly and listened to his surroundings. There were also discussions around this matter. Although it was only a gathering of some younger generation experts, it was not a trivial event for the entire sunny Bamboo Island. This time, I heard a lot of young experts coming. Many of them are on the top 100 list. Yeah, there should be a lot of gatherings like this because the competition for the new list is about to begin. Now, it is the time for everyone to find out each other's capabilities. Indeed, there will be the emergence of new warriors on the top 100 list, which names we have never heard of before. Apart from the competition for the top experts, what interests me is those emerging newcomers. Aren't there such dark horses, one in every session? That's it. Last time, from our sunny Bamboo Island, only Muse Yao and Scarlet Thunder Immortal entered the top 100 list. This time, I wonder how many can enter the rank of top 100 list. Yes, I hope there are more winners this time. It proves that my sunny Bamboo Island is more prosperous. But I heard that this time both Muse Yao and Scarlet Thunder Immortal had made progress. Their progress in the top 100 competition will go even further than the last time. It is because of this speculation that there are more gatherings like this happening. They want to figure out each other's trump card before the top 100 competition begins. Moreover, they said that Chiu Jianhao of the Sea Dragon Mansion would come in person this time. Someone lowered his voice and said, but everyone around him heard it. All of them exclaimed immediately. Chiu Jianhao. Is that Chiu Jianhao who is ranked 23rd in the top 100 list? Someone exclaimed. That's him. Who else will it be? He is already Transcendent Realm's 6th level peak at his young age. If he can go one step further before the top 100 competition begins and enter Transcendent Realm's 7th level, he can even compete for top 20. Sea Dragon Mansion is still strong. In the top 100 list alone, Sea Dragon Mansion alone accounted for more than a dozen places. Even so, there are many young experts of Sea Dragon Mansion noting participating in the ranking at all. Otherwise, they will occupy the top 100 list. Yi Shiwen secretly absorbed the information. Although the top 100 list was symbolic, the legitimate experts were still among the three forces. The three forces were also the human forces anchored on the flourished Cloud Sea region. As long as the three major forces were still there, the human clan would have a foothold in the flourished Cloud Sea region. There were many experts among the three forces. After all, there were few young experts of unknown origin like Unparalleled Sword. Most of them were from these three forces. Apart from these three forces, the sea clans had the most numbers. After that, what remained was the experts from various small forces. Suddenly, a bolt of light streaked across the sky arrogantly. The expert was in a green robe. Who is that? So arrogant? They are the Jade Shadow Sea Snake Clan experts. They said that Bai Lishuan of Jade Shadow Sea Snake Clan personally led the team this time. It is probably because of Bai Chen's affairs. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan experts sheltered Bai Chen previously. What happened annoys the Jade Shadow Sea Snake Clan deeply. If it weren't for the fact that the clan is not as strong as the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan, I am afraid they have already chosen to go to war with the Crocodile Clan already. That's quite serious. What exactly did Bai Chen do to irritate Jade Shadow Sea Snake Clan so terribly? They would rather go into conflict with the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan. Someone asked? For Bai Chen, many people still had good memories of it. Bai Qin had caused a commotion in the nearby sea region, after all. God knows. Jade Shadow Sea Snake Clan is tight-lipped on this matter, but there is news coming that Bai Qin died 3 years ago. It was the opening of Holy Realm Dweller's Mansion 3 years ago. No one knows whether Bai Qin died or not, but Ying is dead. Under the eyes of everyone, he died under Yi Zaiwen's hand. If not, it should be Ying leading the team. Asterisk exclaimed. Asterisk. It's no wonder that the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan is hunting people like crazy around the sea region. It turns out to be because of Ying's death. No wonder. Ying is the elite genius of their clans. An elite second only to Crown Prince Crocodile is dead now. Who is Yishuan? I don't know. This person emerges out of nowhere, and then disappears overnight. He appeared in the Holy Realm Dweller's Mansion 3 years ago, but there is no news in these 3 years. Tisk, warriors are getting bolder nowadays. These young experts are often lawless. However, since these Jade Shadow Sea Snake Clan experts are here, is Crown Prince Crocodile coming? He sheltered Bai Qin previously. How is it possible that the gathering is worthwhile to invite a character like Crown Prince Crocodile? This time, Yihong personally led the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan. His strength is superior to Ying. Despite having an inferior talent in comparison to Ying, he isn't someone to be underestimated. This will be a good show. Whether it is Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan or Jade Shadow Sea Snake clan, they are both sea clans. It is better for them to hurt themselves. Despicable human beings can only dream of this kind of delusion. A harsh, disdainful voice came out. When everyone looked toward the source, they saw a young man in a green robe sitting on a bench, sneering. His green eyes were snake-like. Everyone immediately recognized at first glance that it was a Jade Shadow Sea Snake Clan's expert. Those diners were a little startled. After all, they said bad things behind people's backs, only to find that the person in their topic was right in front of them. Some people were wondering who this Jade Shadow Sea Snake Clan's young expert was. Why didn't he go with Bai Lishuan but appeared here alone? However, his next sentence immediately made many diners angry. This gathering is boring. I don't see anyone worthwhile as an expert in the human clan. It's just some people who have no reputation. That Mu Xiao can be my 99th concubine, said the Jade Shadow Sea Snake Clan expert coldly. 1. https://en. Wikipedia. org/wiki/dark_horse. Chapter 898. Chapter 898, Conflict. Brat, keep your mouth clean. How can a person like you defile Mu Xiao? A macho man instantly slammed the table and stood up, glaring at the green-robed youth. Apparently, this macho man was also a supporter of Yao Qian. Inside the inn, many cold eyes looked at the green-robed youth. At this time, most of the inn's customers were humans, particularly the warriors near Sunny Bamboo Island. Sunny Bamboo Island had a far-reaching reputation for having numerous supporters. The macho man's words made the crowd rowdy. There were not only admirers but many supporters to the two muses of Sunny Bamboo Island. This brat dared to speak arrogantly, saying that he wanted to marry the muse in their hearts as the 99th concubine. He appeared reluctant in his tone too. This incited the crowd's anger. Everyone was rowdy. Hearing what this macho man said, everyone secretly applauded him. Who does this brat think he is? Is he the unparalleled sword? Yao Qian's love for the unparalleled sword was no longer a secret. Many people knew that Yao Qian had never concealed this. Faced with the angry gazes of the crowd, the green-robed young man didn't blink his eyes. He just sneered and said, "It's nothing more than a crowd of mobs. After all, human clans are notoriously weak clans." With this sentence, not only the supporters of Yao Qian were irritated, but all the human clan experts on the scene were enraged. It was a direct slap on their faces. The corner of the green-robed youth's mouth raised a little. When he reappeared, he was already in front of the Macho Man with layers of green glow on his palm. His target was at the Macho Man's neck. It was a glaring intent to kill. There was an exclamation in the inn, but no one thought that this green-robed young man would dare to do so arrogantly. He did not hesitate to the fact that this was not within the Jade Shadow Sea Snake clan's territory. Shio. Just when the Macho Man went into despair, a sharp sonic boom rang. A stream of light instantly streaked across in the air and headed directly at the green-robed youth's palm. Clang. The streamer was directly inserted into the wall and dispersed. Everyone noticed that it was a chopstick, which was inserted into the wall fiercely. The chopstick's tail was still shaking violently. It showed how powerful the force was when the chopstick was launched. At the critical moment, the green-robed youth avoided the chopstick attack and was not penetrated by the chopsticks on the spot. The green-robed youth's complexion turned ugly immediately. If he could not avoid it in time just now, the chopstick would pierce his hand. Who? How dare you attack me? The green-robed youth suddenly shouted. His snake eyes scanned over many diners. The Macho Man finally regained his sense. Nothing happened to me. I'm alive. At that moment, he thought he was dead. The green-robed young man was too agile. It happened too fast with no time to react. The Macho Man immediately looked at the green-robed youth in front of him with some horror. The strength of this green-robed youth was absolutely beyond his imagination. No wonder even if he was not in the Jade Shadow Sea Snake clan's territory, he still dared to be so aggressive. Shut up! Then, a lazy voice came from a table. Everyone looked intently but saw that it was a young man in a white robe. He had a fair and handsome face but with a toothpick hanging in his mouth, making him look a bit more scornful. He was holding a chopstick in his hand, constantly beating the table. The chopstick just now was launched from his hand. Yishuan also took a few more glances. He was a little surprised with the white-robed youth. He was vying to make a move just now, only to find that someone had already rescued the Macho Man. In the end, he managed not to expose himself. It was just that the young man didn't look old. He appeared like a teenager. Although it was unwise to judge a warrior from the displayed age, it would offer some clues. It's another young expert. At this time, many people also noticed the existence of this white-robed boy. They couldn't help but sigh in their hearts. The gathering of young experts made rare young experts prevalent. They all surfaced all of a sudden. Whether it is this green-robed youth or this white-robed youth, their strength could easily suppress the crowd. Did you attack me just now? The green-robed youth looked coldly at the white-robed youth and said with killing intent in that pair of snake eyes. Why are you so noisy? A filthy mouth can't utter decent language like a dog who can't spit out ivory. The white-robed boy still looked bored. Ha! Hearing the white-robed boy's words, the human martial artist in the inn laughed immediately. The white-robed boy appeared slothful, but his words were extremely sharp. Boy, are you in hate with your long lifespan and thus courting death? The green-robed youth said in a cold voice. He did not make a move immediately like just now. He was quite intimidated by this white-robed boy with an unknown background. Being someone diffusing the situation at a critical moment, how could the white-robed boy be an ordinary person? Yeah, how do you know that I despise my life being too long? I think that I still have more than 9,000 years to live. What's the matter? The white-robed boy appeared unfazed. Many martial artists around were laughing secretly. He looked like a naive boy. Generally, only people thought that their lives were not long enough. No one would believe that their lifespan was too long. Just now, the white-robed boy diffused the threatening words as if they were mere jokes. Just now, I would like to thank Honorable Youth for saving my life. The Macho Man quickly thanked the white-haired boy as he cupped his hand. No thanks. I was too lazy to be nosy, but this guy defiled my sister Yao. Who does he think he is? Is he worthy of being compared with my sister Yao? The white-robed boy raised his hand and said nonchalantly. He then looked at the green-robed youth coldly. It was the macho man who stood there a little embarrassed. You don't need to be so direct. You made me embarrass myself. Anyway, if I don't make a move, someone else will do it. At this time, the white-robed boy looked at Yishiwen. Following his gaze, everyone in the inn also looked at Yishiwen, which ultimately exposed Yishiwen. Yishiwen was calm and composed, but he didn't expect that the kid noticed him about to make a move. This kid isn't simple. This also included the fierce gaze of the green-robed youth. His murderous intent was glaring. What do you damn humans treat me like? Am I a clown to you all? Everyone can offend me. For him, this was simply unbearable. When did he get treated like this? But compared to Yishiwen, he still hated this white-robed boy more. He stared at the white-robed boy coldly and said, "Who are you? How dare you to interrupt my business? Imbai Hanmo. I don't even bother to care about your rubbish business, but you dare to covet Sister Yao as a concubine. You're quite a bold one." The white-robed boy got serious and stood upright. When he got up, he did not stop hitting the table with his chopsticks. "Damn you, kid. We're going to settle scores here." The green-robed youth was furious. Since just now, he almost never had the upper hand in the argument. He could not let it continue any longer. A dagger appeared in the green-robed youth's hand and disappeared instantly. When it reappeared, the dagger had already appeared in front of the white-robed youth. The dagger streaked across the air, bringing about a trail of green flash. This white-robed boy immediately waved the chopsticks in his hand. When the green light approached, the chopsticks in his hand emitted a dim light. Boom! The green-robed youth suddenly felt an unimaginable force imposed on his dagger. The dagger in his hand almost fell to the ground. He couldn't believe it. He didn't expect that he fell into a disadvantage in the first clash. However, his reaction was fast. Immediately, he clenched it and reverse gripped the dagger's handle. It instantly slid toward the white-robed boy's throat at an even more alarming speed. All this happened so quickly that no one saw it. Yishiwen, being the only one who saw it, shouted, "Be careful." Yishiwen didn't expect that the green-robed youth could counterattack in this situation. This green-robed youth was not a simpleton. He was capable of reaching the Transcendent Realm's 6th-level peak. The white-robed boy just gave a cold snort. With the same ordinary chopstick, it exerted the divine tool's might. Dang! With a loud clang, the white-robed boy deflected the approaching dagger. At this time, the white-robed young man made his move. He kicked out at lightning speed, sending the green-robed young man directly. The young man in the green robe was blasted away and slammed on the wall violently before his figure stopped. At this time, he was already in a sorry state. He looked at the white-robed youth with horror. He didn't know the opponent's background. Only to hear the white-robed boy say coldly, "Next time if I hear you coveting my sister Yao, I will kill you. Your clans won't be able to protect you." When he was about to explode, he unexpectedly chose to compromise and came to a massive stone monument next to him. There was a 9-boxes grid on this stone monument, each of which represented one level. As long as the warrior struck with his full might, the amount of box lit represented his total strength. Of course, this method was quite common, but it could only be used as a reference. This did not fully represent a warrior's combat strength. After all, overall combat strength did not lie only on chi or physical strength. Speed, martial arts mastery, and so on made a huge difference too. But for basic testing, it was enough. Boom! Bai Hanmo didn't say much, and hit it with a punch. 4 of the 9 dim boxes lit up. Bai Hanmo did it in ease. He then glanced at the guard. "Did you see that? How is it? How dare you look down on me?" But seeing that the guard didn't care at all, he was a little depressed. After Bai Hanmo, it was Yi Zaiwen's turn. He hit it directly with a punch. Only 2 of the 9 hidden boxes lit up. He barely passed. Many onlookers didn't pay any further attention when they saw this result. It was just a pass. Only Bai Hanmo glanced at Yi Shiwen in surprise. He knew that Yi Zaiwen's true combat strength would be far above the Transcendent Realm's second level. However, Yi Shiwen managed to control his output. It was much more difficult than him showing off Transcendent Realm 4th level casually. Although Bai Hanmo was a little slothful, he was an alert person. Bai Hanmo noticed a young expert next to him approached arrogantly. He said with great dissatisfaction, "Why do I need to go through assessment? Don't he need to do that?" The guard glanced at him disdainfully and said, "He is a good friend of our young boss. A well-known expert on the top 100 list too. Naturally, he doesn't have to go through the assessment." The hidden meaning was, "Who are you? I have never heard of you." This made Bai Hanmo on the side depressed, but Yi Shiwen next to him was unfazed. He was familiar with that person. That person was none other than Qi Dong. To his surprise, this fellow also escaped from that burning corpse's pursuit. "That person is Qi Dong. I'm not mistaken. I didn't expect him to appear this time. What's peculiar about this? He also attended the previous 2 gatherings. Who doesn't know that he is also an admirer of Mu Xiao? He often appears where Mu Xiao is. Isn't Mu Xiao the unparalleled sword's admirer? Who can be so sure of this?" The discussion nearby reached the ears of the two of them, making Bai Hanmo even more depressed. Suddenly, he turned to Yi Shiwen and said, "Elder brother Yi, I support you to pursue Sister Yao. Compare this to Qi Dong, you are much better. Worst comes to worst, you're better than the unparalleled sword with facial paralysis." The unsuspecting Yi Shiwen almost choked. "What the hell are you talking?" Yi Shiwen was speechless. That Qi Dong was bad-mouthed all of a sudden. Worse still, unparalleled sword had facial paralysis. Although he had encountered the unparalleled sword twice, they had not chatted. The first time was when he was still in a restaurant, and the second time was in Holy Realm Dweller's mansion. The unparalleled sword was so fast that Yi Shiwen could not follow his sight on the unparalleled sword. "That person is Yi Shiwen. Am I mistaken?" "You're not wrong. It is definitely him. He is too courageous. Although the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts have relaxed a little bit on hunting him down, he actually dares to appear here. He is courting death. Indeed, I heard that Ying die in his hands. This gathering will become more lively. Brother Yi, you are so famous." Bai Hanmo looked at Yi Shiwen as if he was a miracle in the world, making him somewhat speechless. It would be a matter of time before being recognized. Perhaps he did not leave a deep impression on sunny Bamboo Island. At that time, everyone paid attention to Crown Prince Crocodile and Unparalleled Sword. However, with Ying after dying in his hands, his popularity also soared instantly. Yi Shiwen didn't want to say anything more. He pulled Bai Hanmo in. He suddenly felt that going along with Bai Hanmo was a mistake. When Yi Shiwen entered, he found that the crowd had reached more than 200 people. Most of them were young Transcendent Realm 2nd level experts. There were a few Transcendent Realm 3rd level and 4th level warriors standing out in the crowd. These were the young experts who were well known in the parameter. Although they couldn't make it to the top 100 list, they were also rare elite experts among the younger generation. There were at least several times this number of experts who couldn't get in. On the platform in the middle of the venue, a group of about 7 or 8 people stood on it, forming a completely incompatible scene with these people below. The eyes of the young experts below were facing the 8 warriors on the platform. Yi Shiwen looked over and saw a few acquaintances. Of course, Qi Dong stood on a platform. Scarlet Thunder Immortal stood beside him, which Yi Shiwen did not expect. Beside Qi Dong, 2 young men stood beside him, one on the left and the other on the right. In addition to them, there are 2 Sea Clan experts. One was the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan, and the other was Jade Shadow Sea Snake clan. Obviously, the warrior on the platform was Yi Hong and Bai Li Xuan. At this time, the two of them were obviously cold and hostile to each other. Thinking of what Yi Shiwen had heard previously, it must be because of Bai Chen. It was a pity that Yi Shiwen killed Bai Chen previously. He didn't inspect on Bai Chen's memory at the time, so he didn't know what happened to Bai Chen that caused him to be under Jade Shadow Sea Snake Clan's pursuit. What surprised Yi Shiwen was that the previous green-robed youth was standing next to Bai Lishuan. It seemed they had a close connection. These warriors were obviously better than those below, at least they were at the top 100 list. Why don't I see Sister Yao? Bai Hanmo glanced, then asked. She is the host, she should come last, replied Yi Shiwen immediately. That's right. Elder brother Yi. It's quite fun on the platform. We should go up too. Let's go. Bai Hanmo was a little bored when he noticed Yao Qian was not there. Then again, his next thoughts excited him. Then, let's go up together. It's a good opportunity to greet my acquaintances. Yi Shiwen glanced at Scarlet Thunder Immortal on the platform, and said coldly. The two of them morphed into two bolts of light, and arrived at the high platform. It immediately attracted the attention of the experts who were gazing at the platform. Who are these two warriors? They dare to rush up directly. Don't they know that this high platform is only qualified for the top 100? Haha, this will be an exhilarating performance. If they are not strong enough, they will probably be thrown down the platform on the spot. They are not the first. This will be interesting. Many warriors were wondering how Yi Shiwen and his partner dared to rush up. Most importantly, the spectating warriors were waiting for them to be embarrassed, as if seeing the two of them made a fool of themselves would improve the spectating warriors' mood. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.